Good evening and welcome to our Covenant Healthcare sponsored pregame show on Bay County TV. Jeff Dodd and Mike Wasdala along with you. Coach, if you're a mathematician, 66.7 after tonight. Sad we're two-thirds of the way through the season.
Yeah, it is. How fast did this go again, Jeff? It's you're right, game number 6. Only 3 left after that. But, you know, what a way to spend the evening two-thirds into the season with a great game between two great football teams and a good rivalry also.
We start tonight with apologies for not being able to finish what we started last week at Central.
Yeah, it was just a weird situation, Jeff. Everybody on the Bay County TV team had something going on Saturday, so none of us could make it to the end of that football game. But we saw 3 good quarters between Central and John Glenn. Very much enjoyed that game, and Central came away with a 27-14 win over the Bobcats. So big win for Central and Kevin Fredericks.
So many schools last week had to endure the Saturday morning sores, getting over the tight and stiff and sore from that heavy-hitting game on Friday to get back up and do it again on Saturday. The kids are not conditioned to have to do that, so I got to take my hats off to both teams from last week for being able to push themselves out of bed and finish what they started.
Yeah, that's a tough thing to do, Jeff. You play, you're all fired up, you're 3 quarters into it, and then they call and you got to go home, get the uniforms clean, get something to eat, get to bed early, get back up probably about 7 or 8, and get loosened up, get on the bus and go over. I never experienced that when I was a player, but it's got to be very tough on everybody. But it's just been one of those years. That's the second time we've had that on Bay County TV, and it's been a strange year weather-wise and a lot of postponements and just trying to get the games in.
You hit the nail on the head with the X Factor. Mama and the Tide Stick having to get the stains out of that uni on short notice.
Right.
Mama pulled some burning the midnight oil hours to make that happen. But we are very excited about this matchup tonight. First, the Western Warriors coming off a huge win last week where they took care of business against Saginaw High and got a little bit of confidence moving forward.
Yeah, Jeff, that was a nice win for Coach Willards and the Western Warriors program. They needed something like that. It was a big win on the road at Saginaw High, which is always nice when you can win on the road in the Valley. Don't care who you're playing, but it's really nice to get that win. And, we saw Coach Willards early in the year at the Lions Club luncheon. He was fired up about his team this year. He likes his kids. He likes his coaching staff. He likes where this program is going. And it's showing off, and the little detail things are going to pay dividends in the long run.
He was equally as excited about last week's win because the offense finally clicked, but the defense laid a goose on the opponent.
Yeah, and that's a huge thing. What a confidence builder to go on the road, shut somebody out. It doesn't matter who you're playing, but get that shutout win in the Valley on the road. That's a positive, and that's going to carry over into tonight's game against the Bobcats.
Now, weather won't be a factor. This field was partially underwater earlier this week, but the staff used about 48 hours of heavy-duty bilge pumps to get it to the point where it's able to be played today. The health on Western's team is pretty good. They did deal with some cramping like a lot of people did, but pretty much they're ready to rock, and it should be exciting from the Western side to see what they bring to the table.
Yeah, absolutely, Jeff. We're up here. We look at the field. It's nice and green and plush, and it's football weather. It's going to be in the mid-50s to high 40s tonight for the football game. We got a little bit of wind coming out of the northeast. That's going to cool things down, so it's going to be a good football game tonight.
We switch gears. It's the home game for John Glenn. It's homecoming for John Glenn. It'll be the second week in a row that they are playing in front of a massive humanity and spectators.
Yeah, this is going to be a big crowd. We got caught up in the parade driving into the football stadium tonight. Lots of kids, lots of middle school kids, a lot of the elementary kids are here. A lot of the alumni will be here. So having played in homecoming games, you always want to put on your best game when the alumni are coming back and Grandma and Grandpa and all the gang are in the stands. fans.
Oh, this is such a big game tonight. We heard that Matt Schmidt gave up his seat.
Ooh.
Actually, you're sitting in Matthew's seat tonight. So for Matt Schmidt to give up his spot for us in the press box, it's big.
That's big, but how long am I going to be able to keep it when Matt comes up here? But
you may have to share the seat.
Yes. But, I'll give it to him, and I'll stand for a while if that's okay. But Matt Schmidt's a great guy. We love coming to John Glenn doing games.
Now, when we watched this game last week, the first player that I hadn't talked about a lot prior to the game that stood out defensively was Dienauer at linebacker. He looks like a linebacker, he flows like a linebacker, and he finishes like a linebacker.
He is absolutely the ultimate-looking linebacker, Jeff, and he calls all the defensive plays for the Bobcats. So he's the captain out there. They're looking at him to make the decisions on the defensive calls. He had an outstanding game against Bay City Central. He'll have another one tonight. He's a good-looking ball player.
The combination of Fredenberg and Rory O'Hare at wide receiver and Christie out of the backfield really give three good options to a four-year starter, Joe Blong, at quarterback.
When you're a quarterback and you got those three guys behind you and handing the ball off and throwing to you, gives you a lot of confidence. They did some nice things last week against Bay City Central. Joe threw the ball very well. The kids caught the ball very well, and they ran very well. They did some really nice things. This is going to be an interesting game tonight, Jeff. 2-3 John Glenn, 1-4 Western. Somebody's got to give. So this is a real key, village towing key game during the season right now, I would say.
This is Boris Spassky, Bobby Fischer, because the two head coaches, Chris Willards and definitely Jeremy Warner, are really going to have to outthink each other tonight, and that's going to be a lot of fun.
It'll be fun to see what's going on when they're coaching. Then the chest bash is going on when they make some adjustments at the end of the first quarter, at halftime, end of the third. So the assistant coaches are going to play an important role tonight. The players are going to play an important role tonight. These are the type of games that we love coming to. This is a good rivalry.
Here goes our seatbelts. We're strapped into our chair. We are excited about the possibilities. The game week number 6 between John Glenn and Western coming at you right around the corner. We'll be right back.
In the fight against cancer, you are never alone. The Covenant Cancer Care Center pledges to stand by you every step of the way. And standing with us now is MD Anderson Cancer Network, a program of MD Anderson Cancer Center, one of America's leading cancer care providers. This extraordinary affiliation gives families unprecedented access to world-renowned cancer treatment plans close to home. Together, we can fight cancer, hand in hand.
Good evening and welcome to John Glenn Bobcat football with the Western Warriors coming to town. We have got ourselves a great one tonight. Jeff Doden and Mike Wisdala along with you. John Glenn wins the toss, Mike, and defers their decision. They'll put their defense on the field first.
Yeah, Jeff, you can tell, man, there's electricity in the air. We got a big crowd. This is a good rivalry. Things are really hopping. It's homecoming night, and it's football weather, and that's what we like to see, a little brisk in the air, and we're about ready to rock, Jeff. I expect a good football game tonight.
Great crowd on hand indeed. Osdike with the kick. It's going to be a high, deep end over end kick. It's going to be taking the Western Warriors. That is C.J. Trail up the field. He's up over the 30. He's got some room to the outside, up to the 38-yard line before he's brought down. And, Mike, we remember from last year, he's got some wheels.
Yeah, he really does, Jeff. And that was a nice return. Western's going to have some great field possession on their first possession of the game. They're going to be out about the 38-yard line, so it'll be 1st and 10 for the Warriors. Nice return by Trail. Let's see what Coach Woodward has up his sleeve for the first play of the game.
36 yards unofficially on that return. So Frizzell will be the starting quarterback in his second year. He split time with Carter Bachkalupo last year, but near the end of the year took that job over. He's got a little bit of a thumb issue, should be back as Michak goes in motion. He's now on that far side wing. Pop to the outside, trying to get outside Joe Blong. Job did a superb job of contain on the play, but Pop pulls forward for a gain of about 7 out to the 45-yard line. He's going to be a real key tonight.
Yeah, Pop had a great year last year, Jeff. As a junior, he's a senior this year. What I like about that young man, he can go between the tackles, and he can kick it outside. He's got some wheels also.
Western comes with a totally different look now as they had the two tight end and the double wings set up before. Now they hand off to Pop. Pop kind of spun his tire a little bit, but still is able to pull forward for a gain of about 7 yards on the play. And it looks like we know what Western's going to provide a steady diet of tonight until John Glenn can show they can neutralize
Well,
it.
nothing wrong with giving Taylor Pop the rock, Jeff. He's tough to bring down, so he's a load, runs hard, falls forward, gets that extra yard. I like watching him play.
It's going to be very interesting to see how the linebackers flow to the football as Western picks up a 1st and 10.
That's
It
a
looks
nice
like
tackle.
Mechek on the jet sweep to the near side of the field. Joe Blong with the initial hit defensively.
Well, I'll tell you what, also in there again, Jeff, was our friend Austin Dienauer from that linebacker position. Nice tackle by Austin. Getting the signals from the defensive coordinator, which is the head coach, Jeremy Warner. And Austin calls the play. Good gain on 1st down for the Warriors.
As they come to the line now with a 2nd and 7. Again, Twins to that wide side of the field. The single back is Pop. Boy, they are all looking to hit Pop. Pop bangs forward. He picks up a couple of tough yards on the play, but the defense for John Glenn, superb on that play. And it looked like number 46, who we're looking for a big game tonight out of, and that's Nathan Jacobs.
Yeah, well, Nathan's had some good football games so far this year. This is a big 3rd down here early for the Warriors. 2nd down and about 5 inside Bobcat territory.
First key 3rd down play of the game for the Western Warriors. Jack Frizzell back. He's going to look to throw the football. A quick into Blake Mechek, and that thing is thrown behind him. A little miscommunication. It looked like Frizzell was thinking that Mechek was going to settle into a spot. He ran a little skinny post, and that turnover is looks like it's going to, at least by formation, cause the Western Warriors to punt.
Yeah, I think you're right, Jeff. I think he was going to try to sit down there, but he kept on going, so it'd be 4th down and long for the Warriors. It could be punting with the win, so that over the head of nice job by the kicker jumping on that, Jeff. Smart point. You just never know what that ball's going to do.
So they'll put that ball at the 33-yard line as Ethan Malin, who does the punting and the place kicking for the Western Warriors, does the prudent thing, and he's going to call on his defense now, his teammates, to see if they can keep the Bobcats out of the end zone. We're looking back to last week now. First early break went to Central. John Glenn really had to fight through things early. Now it looks like the first break of the game is John Glenn's. How will they match?
Coach, you took the words right out of my mouth.
Boy. Don't tell me we're thinking alike this early, Coach. There's hope
thinking
for
alike
me.
In the first quarter is scary.
There's hope for me yet. Joe Blong out of the shotgun. Christie the single back. Western showing a 5-man front. Christie up the middle for a very modest gain of about a yard. The defensive interior for the Western Warriors stops that, led by Mechek from the linebacker position. Gain of 1, 2nd down and 9, John Glenn.
Also in on the play, Jeff, number 40, Aaron Norfleet. We've liked the way that young man's played over the last 2 years, watching him play. Nice tackle, 2nd and long for the Bobcats.
As they come up to the line of scrimmage again, they're going to say virtually no gain on the play. That is Joe Blong on the quarterback keeper. Boy, the read option so long he held on to that ball. He had to pull it out of the belly of Christie Gwiz, and he goes forward down to the 26. That's going to bring up a 3rd and 2.
Nice job by Joe, Jeff, reading the play. Took it away from the running back for the Bobcats. Kept it, got a nice gain. 3rd down and short for the Bobcats. We'll call it about a long two and a half for John Glenn.
Well, and they're obviously in 4-down territory right now inside the 26-yard line. Joe Blong is going to look things over, see if Christie gets his hands on it this time. Quick pass out to Rory O'Hare, makes the first one miss. He's inside the 20. Nope, excuse me, that is a beautiful job that time. as they roll down the field. Great downfield block from Maxon Smith as well to give him a few extra yards.
Nice job by O'Hare stepping and doing a lot of that on his own, Jeff. Horning brought him down, not before they picked up a first down. You know, you like that call. You think 9 times out of 10 they're going to go with the fullback or the running back, and I like the call by Coach Warner and his staff.
Well, and also it gets your quarterback into a little bit of a rhythm.
Yep.
So
Yep.
1st and 10 for the John Glenn Bobcats. Again, out of the 5-yard shotgun. Here comes pressure from Central. Joe Blanc beats the pressure, trying to get to the outside. As that ball is thrown away into the backside of the end zone, it'll come back and be 2nd down and 10.
You know what? That was a great play right there by Joe, throwing the baseball away. I was looking at our friend over here, the baseball coach at Glenn, Jeff, and throwing the football away, Jeff, and live for another down. 2nd down and 10 for the Bobcats. And again, senior maturity, rolling out, didn't say anything. Smart play by Joe.
I'm going to get my team straight here. This is John Glenn and Western playing, so we'll get through it.
I was going to say.
I'm ready to be replaced here in the 59th year of life.
I wouldn't mind I'd be a week younger if we did that. I can tell you that.
The John Glenn Bobcats again. Split backs. Joe Blanc with a late handoff to Christie did not fool anybody as the Western defense, led by Mr. 73 Wade Witskill, a gentleman we called his name a lot last year. So this is a tough 3rd down right now, Mike. You're going to look at a play to get probably at least 5 or 6 yards to put you in a manageable 4th down.
Yeah, that was a good job by the defensive line of the Warriors, Jeff. Good penetration at the point of attack. 3rd down and 11 for the Bobcats.
Empty set out of the backfield, Mike, as they put quads to the wide side of the field. Joe Blanc always a threat to run. The middle linebacker will keep his eye on him. Rory O'Hare between 2 defenders. I'll tell you what.
Man.
That was Xander Gall. Cannot figure out how he didn't knock that pass down, but that was pinpoint accuracy from Joe Blanc.
Man, you had to thread the needle. And he gave a little double hitch right there, too, Jeff. He had to wait for O'Hare to clear, and, man, he put it right between 2 defenders. Nice job.
1st and goal from, 4th and 1. As Job just takes it over the left-hand tackle spot. And he picks up the 1st down now down to the 6-yard line. Nice offensive mix of play calling here has really given the John Glenn Bobcats some offensive flow here early on.
Yeah, Green in on a tackle for Western. They're going to have to call a timeout, Jeff. They had too many men on the field, so it'll be timeout Western.
We'll take a quick break and be back in a moment. No score with 6:59 left in the 1st quarter on Bay County TV.
Sports give so many opportunities to kids. It gives them an opportunity to see where they fit within a team, persevere, understanding how to work with different personalities. Those are the lessons that will make you a successful adult. As a mom, you have to have an understanding of what concussions are.
Concussions are things that are treatable. If we take care of athletes, they will be able to develop and have a long, happy, healthy life.
Back here on Bay County TV, Jeff Doan and Mike Wasdala along with you. Natalie Doan, camera, produce, director, the trifecta of goodies tonight. Boy, we got to be on our best behavior tonight.
Telling us what to do also.
We're on our best behavior with all 3 job titles with 1 person.
I've seen that wrath before. I don't want it again, ever.
1st and goal from the 6. We'll find out if the Western defense was able to make any adjustments, because I'll tell you, the good flow here as they go up under center. Christie to the outside, slipped a little bit, but still able to get down inside the 3 to the 2-yard line. I think, Mike, he doesn't slip. He's in the end zone.
I think you're right, Jeff. You know, the field had some water this week. We got about 4 or 5 inches of rain in the area, so it might be a little slick, but overall it's in pretty good shape.
Very quickly, they go to Christie again. He's hitting the backfield, as that looks like Tyler Pop.
Ryan Green in there, Jeff, number 34 for the Warriors. They lost yardage on that play. That's going to go all the way out to about the 7-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and goal to go for the Bobcats.
That was Ryan Green, not Taylor Pop. So Green with that nice tackle. He was in the backfield, and Christie had nowhere to go. He got the ball, and he had defenders in his face.
Good penetration again by the Warrior defensive line, Jeff. The big fellas up front for Western doing a fine job here in the first quarter.
Joe Blong, multi-dimensional quarterback, as now they're going to have quads coming to the near side of the field. Fredenberg trying to come. Joe Blong makes a couple of people miss. Back down inside the 5 to about the 3-yard line. As he is finally brought down defensively by Aaron Norfleet. But I think the Bobcats are going to do the right thing.
Yeah.
They want points off this first drive, and they have got a very, very sure-footed quarterback in Bill Osdike. Pretty well coached, too, by Coach Burley. I don't like saying that in front of him, but on TV I can do that. He's been a longtime friend, and we've been football friends for many, many decades, back to the Bay City Brahma days. Has he taken his time right now, eyeing this thing up? He's going to take his steps back, and they may have to take a timeout. Maybe they're going to take the delay and get a better angle.
Not quite sure what happened there,
they want
Jay,
to delay a game. I really think that it increases his angle of making that what is glorified extra point at that time, but it was off on the wing. So you back it up 5, and I think he's going to have a little different look at it, but because he was in no hurry to make that happen. He eyeballed it a couple times, and he said, boy, that's a tough angle.
Well, it's amazing what those kickers can see that we don't see, Jeff. They see the angles, and he feels better from 5 yards back, and if that's what the young man wants, then it's going to be a good decision for the Bobcats.
Well, I've always tried to have that kicker's mentality and mindset, too, as part of my repertoire. So.
I've seen that mentality before.
Here comes the field goal. It's up. It's plenty long. And it is wide to the left and no good. Timeout on the field with 4:52 left in our first quarter of play. And it is no score between the John Glenn Bobcats and the Western Warriors. The Warriors are going to get that ball out at the 20-yard line and come out for their second offensive series. Mike, another thing that you can tell, we're getting late in the season. We're not to the end of the first quarter. It's getting dark outside.
Yeah, Jeff, you're absolutely right. And what a confidence builder right now for Bay City Western, holding the Bobcats to 0 points after that long, high snap when they went back for a punt. So nice job by the Warriors.
1st and 10 for the Western Warriors. Jack Frizzell has pressure coming, keeps it himself, cuts up field for a nice gain as the defense was definitely looking Taylor Pop all the way, Mike.
Yeah, did a nice job, Jeff. Just took her out right at the last minute. Pop got popped by a Bobcat defender, and Frizzell did a nice job, picked up a nice 8 yards on first down.
Boy, as the numbers are tough to see tonight, Parker Gino was one of the Bobcats in on that tackle. 2nd down and 2 again. Trips here to the near side. Now they run motion. Pop bangs it forward, and he's going to pick up the first down. And, boy, he's just a load, Mike.
Yeah, he's tough to bring down, Jeff. Looked like on the tackle, number 32. And Dienauer also in on the tackle.
Nate Rabideau, 58.
Just like the way that young man plays, Jeff, from that Dienauer, from that linebacker position. It's always around the football.
He certainly does make it happen. Mechek in motion. Frizzell coming downfield. Beautifully thrown ball. The intermediate route. Does Norfleet gets the pass, and Coach Willardson and Nick Barton have got some tools offensively, some returning starters, and they're starting to stretch things out a little bit offensively with a nice gain on the first down play of about 7 yards. Again, single back, and they're running quads as Mechek comes to the near side of the field. He'll take the near wing. As Pop gets upfield, makes a couple of people miss. Look at the fancy footwork footwork of the big fella as he rambles 20 yards on the play down to the 40-yard line as the Bobcats reached for air as the big fella planted that foot on the wet turf and changed gear and direction.
A little love for the offensive line right there, Jeff, for Bay City Western. They did a nice job. Big hole for Pop, and again, he can run it through the tackle, between the tackles, and he's got some speed when he gets out in the open field.
1st and 10 for the Western Warriors. Michek is going to get back to that wing. This normally is meant run formation. Coming around the corner, squaring up the shoulders, getting a gain of about 6 down to the 34-yard line. Brought down defensively, amongst others, by number 36, Wisniewski. As the John Glenn Bobcat defense gives up a solid 5 on first down. It'll be second and a short 5 for Western. Again, 2:22 and counting left in our first quarter of play. Frizzell showing a little leadership, changing it up at the line of scrimmage. Here comes the Bobcats, and a beautifully thrown screen pass. Pop is at the 15, the 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. He's into the end zone. It's a Western Warrior touchdown.
Great call.
Absolutely great. John Glenn was coming with pressure. Western picked the right time to run that screen pass, and Pop went untouched into the end zone for 6.
Frizzell changed the play too there, Jeff. So he saw something, changed the play, went to the screen, and nice job by Pop. Going all the way for 6.
And Western has got a very, very admirable kicker as well, as Malin will attempt the extra point. Ethan Malin. And you got C.J. Trail holding for him, so he's got good hands. The kick is up. It's plenty long, and it's good. Timeout on the field with 2:05 left in the first quarter. Bay City Western 7, and the John Glenn Bobcats nothing. Back in a moment on BCTV.
Our smiles can light up a room. Our work can light up an entire city. We're the men and women of the IBEW, working with a code of excellence that guarantees the job will be done right, on time, and safely. We're lighting the path to the future. Let us show you just how bright that path is.
Back on Bay County TV, Jeff Doan and Mike Wisdala along with you, Natalie Doan, on the camera, producing, directing, the trifecta of goodies as Western hits the scoreboard first. And there is a little pooch kick with a beautiful catch up front. And Zachary Fisher will take that back up over the 35 to the 36-yard line. So great starting field position for the John Glenn Bobcats.
That was a nice catch right there. That thing was on a rope, Jeff, and Zach caught the ball, got a few yards, and got the Bobcats some good field position.
Have to look at Coach Jeff over there and see if that kid might have a little baseball in his future, the way he caught that thing. Snagged it right out of air. Got a new running back this time in this series. Kevin Wisniewski is that single back. We'll find out if Christie is on the sideline or if they've got him split wide. We know Joe Blong. Oh, Christie is. He's going to run the jet sweep. Nope, Joe Blong keeps it himself. Bangs forward for a gain of almost 9 yards on the play out to the 45. Boy, again, he held that in the belly for a long time before he realized it was his to run.
Yep, Jeff, that was a nice job by Joe reading the defensive end. The defensive end takes it back, and then he just pulls it out and got a nice gain of 9 yards, second down and short for the Bobcats. Kind of opens up the playbook a little bit when you get 9 on first down.
Well, you could go from the front page to the last page on second down and 1, that's for sure. Again, a little different look that time as they used Christie at the wideout and then brought him as the decoy in motion. Christie's going to get the handoff, and he's going to come to the outside. He picks up the first down and more, following his lead block, and Rory O'Hare just kind of getting in the way of the defense. And Christie did a nice job, picked up an extra 3-4 yards on the play.
That was good vision by Christie. Jeff did a nice job following his blocker, and you notice he put his hand right on the backside of O'Hare, got a couple extra yards, and doing a good downfield, basic, fundamental football by the Bobcats right there.
And the Bobcats had good rhythm in their first drive. They just stalled inside the 5-yard line, so they're just picking up where they left off on the last drive as they bring trips to the near side of the field. We haven't seen Fredenberg get used yet, but we know his talents as well. He's number 26 in the slot here to the near side. Christie up the middle. He's going to bang forward for a gain on the play of about 3 yards. As we look at Norfleet leading the tacklers.
Yeah, Aaron's had a nice game tonight, Jeff. Doing a nice job on the defensive side for the Warriors, but another good game for the Bobcats. We'll probably call it 4, 2nd down and 6, and we're under a minute so already here in this first quarter.
Has been a great first quarter of football as Joe Blong on what could be the last play of the first quarter. Hands it off to Christie going wide. Christie trying to get around the corner. Great job defensively by the corner from Western.
Jackson Watson, number 23, Jeff.
As he goes around the corner, boy, it's just tough to see those Western numbers on the far side of the field, Coach. I'm going to need your peeps tonight a few times.
Guess what? My peeps are in the bag someplace over at the county building. My binoculars are not here, so we'll have to make do with what we got.
As we look to the end of our first quarter of play, Bay City Western 7, John Glenn nothing, but on the march. Back in a moment for the second quarter on Bay County TV.
AAA Transport and Limousine is the Great Lakes Bay region's most reliable and requested transportation service. For over a decade, we have been helping our clients to get to their destination on time, in style, and comfort. AAA's services include non-emergency medical transport, wheelchair accessible, school transportation, and shuttle services. We strive to provide exceptional customer service and tailor our fleet to meet your individual needs. Rest assured that you are in safe hands when you ride with AAA Transport and Limousine. To set up your next appointment, give us a call at 989-893-8294.
Back here on Bay County TV, Jeff Doden and Mike Wisdala along with you. You look over at that Western section, you need a shoehorn to get those kids out of there. They are packed in.
Yeah, that's a nice crowd tonight, Jeff. Western travels well. The Bobcats, homecoming, they're rattling off a lot of the alumni that are here tonight, so it's a lot going on here at Bobcat Land.
Rory O'Hare with the jet sweep to the wide side again. Western pinches him in pretty well on the play. But it's very close to that first down marker, depending on where they spot it. I think he may have it by the length of a football.
Yeah, I think you're right, Jeff. They're going to give it to him. Oh, no, they're going to come out for a measurement.
They just don't trust me, Mike.
Oh, no, they're going to call a first down.
Right. They must have got the word delayed that Bay County TV said it was a first down, Mike, and they just said move the clock, move the chains.
They must have been listening into the game, and they said, Jeff Doan's been right twice tonight, so we're going to give him a go-ahead and give him that first down.
If I'm right for the third time, I'm retiring. 1st and 10 as the John Glenn Bobcats have a nice drive going of their own. Christie trying to go to the wide side of the field, gets caught at the line of scrimmage. Nice job by the Western defense. Meachek.
Yep.
With the not giving up contain, as there'll be a slight loss of a couple of yards on the play. 2nd down and a short 12 just underway again in the second quarter. 7-0, Western on top over John Glenn. Again, they're running twins to the near and twins to the far side. Single back is Christie. Joe Blong out of the shotgun. Takes a 3-step drop. Now he starts to take off, and he's going to end up throwing that ball away. Very, very nice job that time of Joe Blong getting away from the pressure, But, a lot of times last week, just like tonight, he's not had the time he needs to find those receivers downfield.
Yeah, he went to the short side of the field, Jeff. Couldn't find anybody. So, again, discretion's a better part of valor. Don't try to make something out of nothing. Threw it away. 3rd down and 12 for the Bobcats. 10:42 to go here in the first half. Western up 7-0.
Boy, I'll tell you, they end up getting that ball back to the line of scrimmage. The offense got to stand there and wait for it. They're all systems go. They want to make it happen on 3rd down here and 12 yards to go. Joe Blong, he's back. He's rolling to the near side of the field. He's got a little bit of time. Now he's running out of time, throwing that thing downfield. It is caught on the play for a first down and more by number 87, Maxon Smith, as he cuts it down to the 7-yard line.
That's a couple flags on the play, Jeff, back here at the 35 and about the 37-yard line. It was way after the play.
Yeah, but I think you're going to get one of these taps on the head. I think you got some linemen that may be downfield. We'll find out based on where the flags are at. That is at least a possibility. And the other one you don't like to hear if you're John Glenn is holding.
Yeah, both of them both the referees threw those flags right at the same time. Haven't seen that tonight. We haven't seen too many penalties, Jeff, so we'll see what the referees have to say.
I love early on to see the officials letting these kids play.
Right, yep. I think they're talking about where they're going to go have dinner after the game tonight, too.
Boy, Western's moving downfield,
so goodness.
These may be defensive penalties. Unsportsmanlike conduct penalty against Western and an ejection.
Uh-oh. Wow.
If that's a personal foul, Mike, the only thing that they could have called that would have thrown that kid out, in my opinion, is a targeting.
Yeah, and I was watching down the field, Jeff, like everybody else was up here, and I didn't see what happened, but that's a big break for the Bobcats. Going to be 1st and goal to go inside the 5-yard line.
Yeah, they got half the distance to the goal on it, and so instead of being outside the 7, they're inside the 4. 1st and goal for the John Glenn Bobcats. Up under center for only the 2nd time. Joe Blong takes it over the left guard. He's sniffing the end zone. He's into the end zone. It's a John Glenn Bobcat touchdown. Boy, Job did that for the 2nd time, Mike.
Yeah.
The same spot between left guard and left tackle. They fired off and gave him a beautiful seam.
Yeah, there was a big hole right there, Jeff. But again, an opportunity taken by the Bobcats. That big penalty by the Warriors. And the Bobcats are just an extra point away from tying this football game.
Osdike with the attempt of the extra point. It's blocked by it looks like Witskill might know. It was 44 Pop that got the extra point. It's no good. Time out of the field with 10:27 left in the first half. It is 7-6. Western over John Glenn. Back in a moment on Bay County TV.
Village Towing and Auto Repair of Caucaulin and Bay City is here to help you in your hour of need with fast and friendly service. With over 30 years of towing experience, we know how to get the job done quickly and safely. From big to small, we do it all. Give us a call at 989-684-9607 for all your towing needs.
Back here on Bay County TV, Jeff Doan and Mike Wisdala along with you. 2nd good drive in a row by John Glenn. The first one didn't result in points, but the 2nd drive did.
Yeah, that was a nice drive by the Bobcats, Jeff. They put a nice series of plays there to mix it up a little bit. And they had some interesting 2nd and longs, 3rd and longs, got those first downs, but unfortunately missed the extra point. So they're down 7-6, 10:27 to go in the 2nd quarter. Oh, that's a nice kick.
Well, there's a long kick taken on the 7-yard line. Looks like C.J. Trail as he comes up over the 30-yard line again, and he'll get up to the 36, 37-yard line. Looks like a rugby game has taken over the football field for a moment. There's a scrum on the field, but when it's all said and done, it will be 1st and 10 at about the 38-yard line for the Western Warriors.
They got too much equipment on for it to be rugby.
Boy, I'll tell you, that was a massive humanity between the whites and the blues.
That was 22 guys trying to make a decision.
Our real estate was tough to come by out there over the 35-yard line, but it'll be 1st and 10 for the Western Warriors, up by 1 point here with 10:14 left in our first half of play. Jack Frizzell with a single back. Michek in motion to the wide side of the field. Pop moving forward. Look at him just keeping those feet moving until he's finally brought down by Kendall Lee with the finishing touches on it. But Pop really moving those legs.
He is tough to bring down, Jeff. He gets a head of steam going, and he's a load. He's got good legs, keeps going, and fights for every yard. It takes more than one guy to bring down that young man.
2nd down and 7 yards to go. Frizzell to the wide side of the field with a nice underneath pass, and we are going to have a penalty flag.
I got a gut feeling, Jeff, you're going to see a little holding right here.
I would say that is appropriate.
You mean I'm right?
Well, I'm just saying that's the call. I'm not saying that it was the right call, and I'm not going to elaborate on why I don't always agree with that call when the play's 30 yards away, but I won't get into that at all. I won't reveal that.
Oh, you take okay.
Oh, see, again, they're listening to Bay County TV up here. And again, Mike, I like that. If there's holding and it has no bearing and it's not a safety issue,
right,
let them play.
Yep, absolutely. So basically what you're telling me, you're 4 for 4 tonight.
I was quitting after 3, but I had to feel the 4th one coming.
I wouldn't stick that in granite, but we'll do the best we can.
Well, when you're up here, with people like Tony Bacigalupo in the neighborhood, wow. That's a lot of pressure on us to succeed. We got a timeout on the field. Western will be back in just a moment on Bay County TV.
Ow, ow, ouch! My hip, my knee, my joints feel out of whack. Ow, ow, oh my! The pain, I can't take it anymore.
Back on Bay County TV, it's 3rd down and 2 yards to go. Boy, they have got a power I formation. Trying to move forward, and the pile is moving, and they're going to have a referee throwing the flag. What's he throwing that for, Mike? Assisting the runner. And that is something you never see called, but I believe that's what he's going to pull out of the last page of the referee's handbook.
That referee tossed that thing 15 yards.
I want to see the signal for it. Oh,
yeah,
that's what it
go.
is. Aiding and assisting the runner. And that is going to be a 5-yard penalty, and they will replay 3rd down.
5 for 5.
I'll tell you what. You are on fire tonight, my friend. 5 for 5.
Wow.
I've been doing this with you for 27 years and never seen it. It's a first.
You probably never see it again, so put it on your calendar and in your book.
Everybody up here is impressed with you tonight.
Well, there's got to be a first for everything. Clock starting again with 9:20 left in our second quarter of play. 3rd down now and not quite so manageable. Frizzell back. He's got time to throw the football. The ball sails. Was it a great catch on the sidelines? Still waiting to see. Looks like they're going to give him the catch, and he is going to be. Nope, they're not going to.
I think incomplete.
Looked like he was marking that spot over as the head linesman.
Yeah, it was a nice pass, Jeff. And I think he got the feet down. I just don't know if he caught the football. I couldn't tell from up here, but going to be 4th down and long for the Warriors. They're going to have to punt it away, Jeff. 9:11 to go here in the first half.
Well, I just got a first quarter score from Heritage, and I don't want to tell you that Heritage is up 27-0 over Bay City Central.
Okay.
Not a good start. Another over the head, and he has to just dive on it again, and he doesn't make it, but it's still going to be the same spot. It does not matter. But the center for Western for the second time has air-mailed that exchange.
Well, that's a big break for the Warriors, Jeff, or for the Bobcats, excuse me. Another high snap to the punter for the Warriors. Going to be first and goal to go for the Bobcats with about 9:04 to go in the second quarter. And again, another high snap giving the Bobcats good field position.
Well, there's only one guy that I know that could have got that, and that's Manute Bolin. Last time I checked, he's not on the roster for Western. You needed 7'6" with an 8-foot wingspan to be able to catch that, because that thing was almost heading down into the 517 area code.
Yeah. I know I couldn't catch that. I couldn't jump over the Munger phone book.
First and 10 for the John Glenn Bobcats. They are deep inside the red zone. Beautiful scoring opportunity. O'Hare in motion to the near side of the field. He's going to take the jet sweep to the near side. He cuts it inside the 5, stays on his feet, sniffing the goal line. He's down to the 1, and there go. He gave him a touchdown. He took the touchdown away, and it's down inside the 1-yard line.
I think you're right, Jeff. I thought the referee was going up with both. He went up with the right hand, make it second down and goal to goal for the Bobcats. Nice run by number 1 for the Bobcats, Rory O'Hare. Close, but no cigar for Rory, but give it back to him.
Boy, and I'll tell you, they gave him about half the length of a football shy of the goal line. As Joe Blong looked for him to go off left guard himself. No, he's going to hand it up, and that thing goes forward, and that is going to be number 46, Nathan Jacobs. Gets into the scoring. It's a John Glenn Bobcat touchdown. Boy, John Glenn makes quick work. And again, Jeremy Warner says, Jeff, don't ever try and second-guess my play calling. I'm not taking this over the left guard like I've already done. I've already shown that twice. We're going to go with Nathan on the 1-yard scamper. Osdike with the attempted extra point. Holding for him will be McKenzie. The extra point is up. It's long enough. It's between the pipes, and it's good. Time out of the field with 8:37 left in the second quarter. It's John Glenn 13, Western 7. Back in a moment on Bay County TV.
There's just one place where students are students first, and athletics are played with purpose and perspective. That place is your local high school. High school sports offer more than the joy of competition. Studies show that student athletes are also likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in other areas of their lives, including academics. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education.
Back on Bay County TV. After the Western Warriors strike up 7 on the board, Mike, 13 unanswered for the John Glenn Bobcats.
Yeah, Bobcats a little opportunistic right there. Jeff, take advantage of the high snap over the punter's head. 13-7, like you said, 8:37 to go in the first half. Good football game so far, Jeff. Kids are playing hard, hitting hard. A lot of good things going on both squads. Exciting football.
It's exactly what we were looking for and expecting out of tonight's game. Osdike with a low-line drive kick, and that thing is not going to eat. It did go out of bounds before he touched the ball.
Yes.
So that's where the flag comes from. And you're going to have the 3 options again with a new caveat this year, Mike. You can take it where it's at. You can go to the 35. You can re-kick it, but there's a 5-yard procedure penalty involved with it. So I believe Western's going to take it at the 35 and then accept the +5.
That's what I would do if I was coaching, but that's why I'm sitting up here, my friend.
And something else that's very unusual tonight from the officiating crew, most generally all Saginaw Valley League games are 7-man.
Yep.
They're down officials this year. We've got some injuries, some sickness. So what you've got is a 5-man crew doing a job that normally 7-man do.
And last week, Jeff, when we did the Central Glen game, it was a 7-man crew in that Valley game. These gentlemen, I think, came up from the Genesee County area. So, it's nice to have a couple extra set of eyes out there for the referees also.
As they bring that ball back to the sideline, 1st and 10 for the Western Warriors. Western has started all their drives at between the 35 and 40, so as Pop goes to the outside, he is hit low right away by Fredenberg, which really slowed his momentum down and allowed the rest of the defense to get into him.
Well, if you're going to tackle that young man, Jeff, you got to hit him below the waist and get him at the legs, because he's just too big and strong to get above the waist. He'll carry you for a while, but he got a nice gain of 4, called 2nd down and 6.
Right now they've got man coverage on C.J. Trail, but look who's with them, and that's Joe Blong. Coming to the outside, Joe Blong with an open field tackle, and if he doesn't make that, Taylor Pop has got a huge gain on the play.
Yeah, nice job by Joe getting off that defender, Jeff, getting rid of him and making a nice open field tackle. No gain on the play for Pop and the Warriors. 2nd down and 8. For Bay City Western.
Yep, they're going to officially give it like a 3rd down and 7.
Okay, yep.
As it will be Frizzell back. He's got time. Late pressure coming. The ball picked off. Rory O'Hare. He's down to the 30, the 25, the 20. Pushed out of bounds at about the 15-yard line. Center field just sitting back there reading the eyes.
He was reading the quarterback the whole time, Jeff, and he saw Frizzell look to the right and threw it right where he was looking. O'Hare was right there, just sat right in that space and did a nice job on the interception. But we got a late flag on the play.
Boy, and if you got a late flag here, and this is a block in the back, then it's really something that needs to be fixed or corrected by John Glenn, because there was nobody near the play when that flag was thrown.
Well, a nice thing when O'Hare, he's had his head, he's looking at the quarterback, and he was just watching him the whole time and just sat right down where the quarterback was going to throw it.
Yep, producer, director, I got my eyeballs right on the white hat, who's telling us that it's a dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct penalty against the John Glenn Bobcats, and that's going to move the ball back to the 37-yard line, but it will stay possession of the John Glenn Bobcats.
Tough break for the Bobcats right there, Jeff, but again, good field position. 7:22 to go here in the first half. Bobcats up 13-7.
I'm perplexed because normally when you throw that flag, you want to get that near the spot that it happened, and that was nowhere near what they marked off. So it's still a great opportunity for the John Glenn Bobcats, scoring 13 unanswered with an opportunity for more. Christie gets hit at the line of scrimmage and goes absolutely nowhere on the play. As amongst others on the defense, looked like Avila. So virtually no gain on the play. 2nd down and a long 10-yard to go situation, nearing the midway point of our second quarter, Mike. This has been a quickly played game.
It has been quick, Jeff. It's been a really good football game so far by both squads. Been a lot of fun to watch.
Joe Blong back out of the shotgun. Here comes pressure. They're trying to get that screen pass going, and the ball is picked off. As the Western Warriors did exactly what Rory O'Hare did earlier, and Joe Blong had to float that ball, and he overshot his intended receiver, and there was a Western defender there that had the ball fall right into his lap.
Looked like the old tip drill right there, Jeff, and I'm not quite sure who got that interception. We'll find out.
C.J. Trail unofficially with that interception. So when you look at the exchange of downs, Western actually gains 2 yards on that exchange, and they'll have 1st and 10 from their own 37. Twins to the near side. Frizzell going up the middle, down to the 43-yard line. As again,
Boy.
the defense is flowing to Taylor Pop like crazy.
He did a nice job selling that, Jeff. He kept it in as long as he could. And I thought Pop had it when I was watching it, but Frizzell did a nice job pulling that ball out of Pop's hands and a big first down for the Warriors into Bobcat territory. You know, that's an art right there. You just got to know when to let them have it or when to pull it out. And he did a nice job.
That's turning into a real art indeed. Hit at the line of scrimmage. Look at him banging forward for a gain on the play of almost 3 yards. As Taylor Pop moves the pile, finally brought down defensively amongst others by Nathan Jacobs.
And I'll tell you, I was watching the offensive line, Jeff. Those kids are absolutely going right at each other. This is a hard-hitting football game between these two squads.
As they come up to the line of scrimmage. Second down and about 7 yards to go. 5.5 minutes left in our first half. Frizzell going up the middle. Tries to cut to the outside. Breaks one tackle. Can't get through the second, but is able, Mike, to finish falling forward for an extra yard or two.
You know, when we look at that young man, Jeff, we saw him last year, if I'm not mistaken. He's gotten bigger in the year. He's a big young man.
Fredenberg, Jacobs, and Wisniewski all in on that hit for the John Glenn Bobcats. Third down and about a 4 yard to go situation. Again, just under 5 minutes left in this first half, 13-7. John Glenn on top over Western, but Western's got a little flow offensively.
Yep, they got a little mo going right now, Jeff, to the Warriors.
Handoff going right up the middle again. A little bit short of that first down, but got about half of what they need. It's going to be fourth down and a long 1 yard to go situation. As up top of the booth just next to us, they were looking at how John Glenn reacted to that jet sweep motion, and they thought Pop was going to carry it the whole time.
Jacobs in on the last tackle, Jeff, for the John Glenn Bobcats. Frizzell's looking across to the offensive coordinator. And they're going to call a timeout, Jeff. Timeout, Bay City Western.
They want to make sure they're on the same page. We'll take a break and be back in a moment on Bay County TV.
It doesn't matter what kind of weather. It doesn't matter what time of day or night. When Mother Nature's done her worst, the only thing that matters to us is keeping the lights on for you. The hard-working men and women of the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, dedicated to keeping the power on in communities across the country. Because when bad weather strikes, we know what matters most. The IBEW, the power professionals.
Back here on BCTV, Jeff Doan and Mike Wisdala along with you. Natalie Doan on the camera tonight. This is a huge fourth. Oh, is it a Village Towing key play of the ball game? As Frizzell hangs on to it, and he's got the first down and more. Splitting the defenders. Back across the grain. 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. He's into the end zone. It's a Western Warrior touchdown. Boy, again, the RPO there. And the defense went to the Taylor Pop. And boy, he did a great job as he got into the secondary. Mike cut back across the grain to the wide side of the field. Scampered virtually untouched into the end zone for 6.
Nice job by Frizzell, Jeff. Good vision, cutting back against the grain for the Western Warrior touchdown. We got us a tie ball game. 13-13 to go. 4.48 seconds to go here in the first half.
And this is exactly, Mike, what we expected to see with these two teams, as Ethan Malin will attempt the extra point. And it's a little soggy down there, so you've always got to be careful that you have your footing. He gives the nod. We'll take the exchange. It's a little bit low, but the kick is up. It's plenty long. And it's good. Time out of the field with 4:08 left in the first half. Western 14, John Glenn 13. Back in a moment on Bay County TV.
Hi, I'm Zoe, and today I'm here to change your outlook on becoming a referee. Sometimes being a referee can be hard work, but I'm here to tell you that the positives far outweigh the negatives. Just think of the impact you could have on the younger generation, the laughs you could share, and the lives you could change. There's an unofficiated game that needs you.
Back here on Bay County TV, Jeff Doan and Mike Wisdala along with you, and Western with a beautiful answer to 13 unanswered by John Glenn with the 7 of their own.
Been a game of opportunities tonight, Jeff, for both squads taking advantage of turnovers.
That ball is going to be down on the ground, picked up at the 30-yard line. And that is Joshua Garrett. Excuse me.
Malachi Garrett.
As Malachi Garrett gets the ball up about 10 yards out to the 40-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for the John Glenn Bobcats with plenty of time left in the first half with 4:02 to see if they can get more points on the board.
Big thank you tonight to our sponsors, Jeff, Covenant Healthcare, IBEW, International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 692, AAA Transport, Village Towing, the official apparel provider for Bay County TV, shirts, mugs, and more. And as always, we couldn't do it without the John Glenn Booster Club and the Western Booster Club. So we want to thank all of our sponsors tonight for helping us out with this year's broadcast. Good
Western
group.
Showing some very tight man pressure on the wide receivers. Joe Blong with 4:02 left. Fake the jet sweep. Job goes right up the middle, and he picks up a gain of about 4 yards on the play before he is hit defensively by the Western Warriors, waiting for that young man to turn around.
Looks like number 45, Carter Armstrong, for the Warriors on the tackle. Jeff, good game for the Bobcats on first down. Call it 5, 2nd down and 5 for John Glenn.
Has a good first down play. Empty backfield. Again, trying to get upfield, and Joe Blong had absolutely nowhere to go, as that was Norfleet with the backfield.
He's had a nice game tonight. Aaron Norfleet's played a whale of a football game, Jeff, both on offense and defense.
Well, and that puts them back to the original line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd down and 10. Norfleet has, in the past, been more known for his offense, but he has really developed into a great defensive player.
Played very well tonight.
Joe Blong comes over to the sideline to get instruction on the next play, as this is a big point in this first half, as with 2:50 left in the first half, 3rd down and 10 yards to go. Joe Blong again flushed from the pocket, trying to make something happen. Eyes downfield, continuing to look. The pass is in and out of the hands of the intended receiver. Joe Blong threw a dime there right on the dot, but trying to throw that ball on the run, trying to catch that ball on the run. And that was Maxon Smith, I believe, or nope, McKenzie, number 11, with that attempt. So it's 4th down, and that incomplete pass stops the clock again. Western with only one timeout left, but with 2:34, they still have some time.
Austin McKenzie did a nice job, Jeff, coming back to the football. Saw Job was in trouble. Coming back, that's what you're taught. But Western could come away with some decent field position here.
And again, we've seen exchanges an issue in this game, mostly for Western, but it's getting a little wet and damp out there. This one's a low snap.
And that's a nice kick.
High, long kick, and a fair catch called for by number 1, C.J. Trail.
C.J.'s got some nice hands on him. That was a tough catch. If he would have let that thing, not caught that thing, Jeff, that thing would have bounced for another 10, 15 yards.
Well, Malachi Garrett was right there, too. He was only about 2 strides behind the catch, and he had himself zeroed in on that return man. So pretty good decision out of the corner of his eye when C.J. Trail decided that fair catch was appropriate.
Are you saying discretion is a better part of valor?
It was apropos. Twins to the near side of the field. Frizzell back again out of the shotgun with 2:28 left. Pop going to the outside. They've got him bottled in very nicely. And Joe Blong out there. Nope, it was not Job on the wide side of the field. That was number 9 with the tackle, Osdick. As he does a great job of sealing the outside and then coming in to make a great play on Pop. There'll be a loss of a yard on the play, 2nd and 11.
It's the only way you can bring that young man down, Jeff. You got to hit him low.
Got to chop that big redwood down at the ankles, indeed. Frizzell right down the middle, off the fingertips of the intended wide receiver. As Norfleet just had that thing slip off his feet, fingers.
Yeah, that was good effort by Norfleet. O'Hare was right there, Jeff. And, but boy, Aaron Norfleet just stretched out as far as he could not pull the ball in for the Bay City Western Warriors.
It's a game of inches.
It is, and that was very, very close. Put it right where he had to put it, just a little bit long.
Now they're going to look over and see what the Bobcat defense is. Frizzell staying. Nope, he's going to change the play again. John Glenn changes their defense. Trying to run for his life, back across his body. And, Mike, what is the first thing you learn as a quarterback? Never throw late back across the middle, and it almost cost him an interception.
Boy, number one, Rory O'Hare was right there.
He was going for the twofer.
Give a little slap on the head, says, oh, baby, I just missed that one.
I think he was heading to the end zone before he had possession of that ball because it was floating there looking for him, but he's still going to be back to return the kick, and with $1:43 left, again, John Glenn should have 3 timeouts and plenty of time and should get the ball inside midfield. There's a high kick, and he's going to try and move it upfield. Great defense that time.
That's a gutsy catch right there. He had a
As
warrior
number
just
3 on the play, Brendan Donnell with the stop.
He had Donnell was just bearing down on him, Jeff, and he did a nice job catching that ball.
That's a gutsy play by Rory O'Hare. He knows that he's got somebody bearing down his straights, and he's still able to catch it and try and elude.
Good concentration by O'Hare. Lots of time left, Jeff, with 3 timeouts, $1:36 to go in the first half.
And look at the umpire. Whoops, I'm on the wrong side of the field. Act like you're going to say something to the referee before you go back. 101 officiating. If you're on the wrong side, act like you're relaying information before you return to your side of the field.
They were talking about where they're going to dinner after the game.
All right. First and 10 for the John Glenn Bobcats. Again with $1:36, as Mike just said, left Christie going wide. Christie gets that ball moving forward, and Western with a great job of shutting that down on the outside for another loss of almost 2 yards on the play. Is
that Gall?
Joe Blong does a nice job throwing that, Mike, because it looks like a lateral pass, but then he catches Christie moving forward in rhythm. But the defense from Western was all over it.
I think that was number 14, if I'm not mistaken, Xander Gall for the Warriors, Jeff.
And we're down to a minute left in our first half of play. 3-man rush. Christie up the middle. He gains about 3-4 yards on the play up near midfield with 52 seconds left. And I'm not certain that they're going to call a timeout, Mike, until they make a first down. If they don't, then they're going to try and let this run out in the first half. Probably a very good move.
Doty in on the tackle for Bay City Western. There's a familiar name out there, Western Way, Jeff.
Yep, and that is third generation Doty because Coach Al, obviously, and Garrett and his sister was a great track athlete as well. Her name escapes me right now, but the Doty name is synonymous with excellence. Yep. Joe Blong, he's back with some time. Rolls to the wide side of the field, floats one downfield just off the fingertips of Rory O'Hare. And with 13.6 ticks left in our first half, the Bobcats are probably going to have to punt this ball away, and they'll just try and get that thing deep, and I think Western will take a knee, and we'll be at halftime. Well, this first half, Mike, has been everything that we thought it would be. Very close, hard-fought, hard-hitting game. Has not disappointed.
Been very enjoyable watching these kids play tonight, Jeff. Going at each other really, really hard. Not a lot of penalties, some after-the-fact penalties, but overall it's been a great first half.
Look at this. They're going to go for it on 4th down. Again, that goes to show what little I know, as Joe Blong does a nice job of making certain that nothing happens. They stop the clock with 6 ticks left in the first half. Western's got an opportunity to at least try and throw that ball deep, and see if they can make something happen. Haven't used Blake Meachek a lot in the first half, but he and Trail Norfleet, they're all speedy wide receivers. Let's see if they've got an opportunity to make something happen. I'm certain that they'll have a 3-deep zone defense for John Glenn, and they'll be told nobody in the white jersey gets behind you.
Deeper than anybody in the white jersey. Exactly right, Jeff. We'll see what Nick Barton, the offensive coordinator for the Western Warriors.
Great individual.
Yes.
Love that young man. Here we go as they've got twins to the near side, twins to the far side. They'll probably move Pop in motion. Pop's going to go right down the seam. Frizzell gets away, and he's just going to launch that thing as far as he can downfield. It's incomplete. That's the end of our first half of play. And our score, the Western Warriors 14, the John Glenn Bobcats 13. Back in a moment to recap the first half, set the stage for the second half, right here on Bay County TV.
Just like Daddy, huh?
They'll probably never know about his thousands of hours of on-the-job training.
Here you go, Daddy.
Or that he spent as much time in the classroom as someone with a master's degree. You and I know he's one of the experts when it comes to electricity, part of a team committed to doing the job right. They call him Dad. You call him the electrician right down the street. IBEW, the power professionals in your neighborhood.
First up is Peyton Dishaw. Peyton is accompanied by her parents, Scott and Patricia Dishaw. She will be taking Caleb Langley to the homecoming dance. Peyton is the Vice President of National Honor Society. He is involved in book club and softball. She also leads our student section at games with fellow member Maddie Forgash. After graduation, Peyton plans to study criminal psychology at Central Michigan University and pursue a career in the criminal justice. Peyton's most memorable moment at Glenn is when her class won the Spirit Jug her freshman year. In her free time, Peyton likes to ride around with her best friends, listen to music, go thrift shopping, read, play with her kitty Mango, and binge watch different shows on Netflix. An interesting fact that very few people know about Peyton is that she will walk out of a room if someone is chewing too loudly. Peyton lives by the famous quote from Winston Churchill: "Success is not final, failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts." Peyton would like to thank her parents for always pushing her to do her best and not letting her procrastinate her life away. She would also like to thank her little brother Xander for being a goofball and making her laugh and mad all the time. Peyton loves y'all, and you couldn't ask for a better little brother or parents. Peyton, this y'all. Next up is Maddie Forgash. Maddie is accompanied by her parents, Michelle and Jim Forgash. She will be taking Brendan Beaver to the homecoming dance. Maddie is a member of the varsity softball team. She also helps run the student section with fellow court member Peyton Dishaw. After graduation, Maddie plans on pursuing a career in the U.S. Army as an intelligence analyst. Woo! In her free time, Maddie enjoys watching movies by herself because, as Maddie says, Delaney Westlock always tends to fall asleep. She also enjoys going to the Holtz and Frankenmuth at midnight with Leah Lashinsky and having Sally braid her hair because she is incapable of doing so. An interesting fact about Maddie is that she has never had to feel jealous of getting replaced by a younger sibling. Maddie's most memorable moment at Glenn was winning County's last softball season and the John Glenn versus Central game her sophomore year. Maddie would like to thank her family for everything they've done and continues to do. It makes her extremely proud to call herself a Forgash. She would especially like to thank her parents for showing her what it's like to love and care for someone. She would also like to thank her grandparents for always giving unconditional love. She would like to thank Dakota, Garrett Forgash, Abigail Simmons for her lifelong best friends. She also wants to thank her sisters for being role models, showing that not to do with mom and dad, but always having her back no matter what. She would like to thank her best friends for showing me a lot about herself and dealing with me these 4 years. She wants to thank her coaches for always believing in her and pushing her to do her best she can be. She would like to give a special shout out to To Hank and Nora Brennan, thank you for always making my day, and no, we can't get Slurpee. Maddie Forgash. Next up is Josie Foss. Josie is accompanied by her parents, Lynette and Ernie Foss. She will be taking Zach Hanelzak to the homecoming dance. Josie is a member of the Varsity Soccer Team, Student Senate, National Honor Society. After graduation, Josie would like to attend Michigan State University to pursue a degree in family and nieces. She loves to hang out with her best friends, sing songs in the car, and spending every day laughing together. Josie's most memorable moment at Glen was getting interviewed by Fox Sports and getting a video made for her. Josie's personal statement is, "Thank you to all the people in my life for helping me grow into the person I have become. Enjoy this world, all it has to offer, and be thankful for all the time you get to spend with friends and family." Also, Josie would like to thank her mom and dad for being her #1 supporters throughout her life. Josie said they have always been there motivating me to do my best in academics, sports, and life in general. She also would like to thank her siblings for always being there for her. Lastly, Josie would like to thank her best friends who have been with her from elementary school to high school. She wanted to let you all know that she could not be the person she is today without all of you in her life. Josie Foss. Next up is Taylor Cagle. Taylor is accompanied by her parents, Kelly and Paul Cagle. She will be taking Great Christie to the homecoming dance. Taylor is a member of the Varsity Volleyball and Cheer Team, National Honor Society, National Art Honor Society, Just for Kids Foundation, Social Code, Mod Squad, and All-American Cheerleading. She plans to pursue a teaching degree from Saginaw Valley State University and hopes to work at her mother's school, Bangor Lincoln. The most memorable moment she has had at Glen was being able to enjoy the sunrise with her fellow classmates in 2020. In her free time, she loves to hang out with her family by supporting her sister in volleyball and cheer, her brother in football, basketball, and baseball. She would like to thank Alfred Franklin for helping her the last 4 years. One interesting fact about Taylor is that she got to perform at the Circus Ball in Orlando, Florida this past year with her cheer team. Taylor would like to thank her parents for always being by her side. She appreciates that every time she looks up into the stands, they are there, being her #1 supporter. She also would like to thank her sisters Mia and brother Bryce for making her laugh and being there to support her through everything she does. She loves you. Finally, one last shout out to all her friends. She couldn't have made it through high school without you all. Taylor Cagle. Kendra Ludwig, next up. Kendra is accompanied by her parents, Sarah and Wade Ludwig. She will be bringing Batman, a.k.a. Joe Long, to the homecoming dance. Kendra is president of the Thespian Society, a Thespian State Officer of the Michigan Educational Thespian Association. She is also a member of the Forensic Speech Team, National Honor Society, serves as a representative of the class of 2020 Student Senate and Secretary for the Executive Board of Student Senate. After graduation, Kendra plans to pursue a bachelor's degree of fine arts in musical, theater, performance with a minor in communications at another state university. In her free time, she loves having movie marathons with her cousin Shane. Kendra's most memorable moment at John Glenn was being announced the state champion of the 2019 State Forensics Competition. An interesting fact about Kendra is that she competed in the 2016 Miss America Outstanding Teen Pageant. Finally, Kendra would like to thank all of her theater directors and coaches for inspiring and supporting her through all of her endeavors. She would also like to thank her parents for the unconditional love and guidance they provide. In her final thank yous, Kendra would like to honor her best friends, Alicia and Janae. Being the youngest, Kendra is overwhelmed with gratitude for her sisters being two of the most intelligent, witty, and encouraging role models. She credits all her success and accomplishments to their never-enduring trust and confidence they have in her ability. Finally, Kendra would like to leave everyone with her favorite quote from Legally Blonde that applies to all. As Ellie Wood once said, being true to yourself never goes out of style. Thank you, John Glenn. Godspeed. Kendra Ludwig. Next up is Morgan Ozarzak. Morgan is accompanied by her parents, Laura and Marcus Arzac. She will be taking Hunter Peterson to the homecoming dance. Morgan is a member of the Varsity Soccer Team, National Honor Society, and loves to dance. After graduation, she plans to pursue a degree in business from Grand Valley State University and eventually move to somewhere warm. She has had many memorable moments at John Glenn, including watching all the football games with her friends, sharing the win of the Spirit Cup multiple years with her classmates. In her free time, she spends time with her friends and her dog, volunteering with children, traveling the world, and going up north together. What few people may not know about her is that she has been to 5 countries. Morgan strives to always be the light in the darkness. Morgan wishes to thank her parents and sisters, Roddy and Mallory, for always supporting her in everything she does. She would also like to thank her amazing friends at John Glenn she met during her years here, as they've always been there for her. Morgan would like to give a huge thank you to every single coach and teacher that encouraged her to be the best she could be. She would like to thank the wonderful class and school for such an unforgettable high school experience. Morgan Zarsak. Next up is Sally Pudvan. Sally is accompanied by her dad, Steve Pudvan. She will be taking Damian Perez to the homecoming dance. Sally is a member of the Varsity Golf and Bowling teams, along with being a Student Center representative, National Honor Society member, Relay for Life captain, Bobcat voice member, and the Student Senate Executive Board treasurer. After graduation, she hopes to attend the University of Michigan. Sally's most memorable moment, John Glenn, is watching her classmates pull off an amazing feat. An interesting fact about Sally is that her birthday is on Christmas. Sally's advice for underclassmen is to believe in yourself and make the best out of your circumstances. She would like to thank the Westlock family and the Forgas family for allowing her to spend countless hours in their homes and making her feel as if she is one of their own. Another thank you goes to the educators of Ranger Township, and especially Coach Remington, for encouraging her to be her best and getting after her when she's not. She would like to thank her siblings and her family for inspiring her to do great things. Finally, she would like to thank her dad for teaching her to do her best and be a leader each and every day. Sally Pudvan.
I got this.
You don't multitask as well as I'd like, so I'm just trying to help you out.
Next up is Sydney Eiler. Sydney is accompanied by her parents, John and Catherine Eiler. She will be taking Matt Cole to the homecoming dance. Sydney is a member of the Varsity Prom Team, National Honor Society, and National Art Honor Society. After graduation, Sydney would like to attend the University of Michigan or Central Michigan University to study fashion merchandising. In her free time, Sydney enjoys shopping, watching hockey with Indy and Megan, traveling to new places, and binge watching all the Harry Potter movies at one time. An interesting fact about Sydney is that she never has eaten a peanut butter and jelly sandwich in her life.
What?
Sydney's most memorable moment at Glenn was being central at the homecoming game. Her personal quote, as said by Andy Bernard, is, "I wish there was a way to know you're in good old days before you're actually left there." Also, Sydney would like to thank her parents and brother for supporting her in everything she does, her friends for always being there, and Matt for never failing to make her smile. Sydney Lyra. Next up is the Lady Westlock. The lady is accompanied by her parents, Bill and Sarah Westlock. She will be taking Rocket to the homecoming dance. Delaney is captain of the varsity swim team and a member of the varsity track team. She is a member of the National Honor Society, Bobcat Boys, and has served as her class president for the past 4 years and is on the executive board for Student Senate. Delaney also volunteers on the Bay Area Community Foundation Youth Advisory Committee, Relay for Life, and at Calvert Hospital on the pulmonary medicine floor. She's a proud member of the Bay City Aquatic Swim Team. After high school, Delaney plans to major in nursing while swimming in college with hopes of becoming a nurse practitioner. Delaney's most memorable moment at Glenn was watching the class of 2020 work together to win the Spirit Cup over and over and over again. An interesting fact about Delaney is that she is named after her papa, Dell. Her personal quote is, "Always remember to be kind and know that a smile, a simple smile, can change a person's day." She would like to give a huge thank you to Darby family for letting her be a sister and always treating her like she is one of her own. To Mr. Larocki, T.E. Bob, and Mr. Nick, thank you for all your help and support. To all my friends, thank you for being you and accepting me for me. To Brock, thank you for being one of my biggest supporters and always keeping our pinky promises. He says, I can't forget my little brother Sean. Thank you for being my best friend. I am so proud to be your sister. Thanks for sitting through all my swim meets. Finally, she would like to say thank you to her parents and grandparents for always supporting me in my craziness. I am so proud to be your daughter. I love you so much. Lady Westlaw. Next up, Brianna Woods. Brianna is accompanied by her dad, Ben Woods, and her Aunt Kathy. She will be taking Brendan Peters to the homecoming dance. Brianna is a representative of Student Senate, a member of the National Honor Society, and plays softball, basketball, volleyball. After graduation, Brianna plans to attend Grand Valley State University on a softball scholarship where she will study sports medicine with the hopes of one day becoming a doctor of sports medicine. Brianna's most memorable moment at Glen was winning the county championship for softball and taking the title away from Western. After the game, Lee Thompson decided to expose Brianna by putting a video of her saying, Western? Never heard of him. She would like to thank Lee for that. In her free time, Brianna enjoys playing sports, driving around with her friends, and making sure the music is loud enough so you can't hear her horrible singing. An interesting fact about Brianna is that she is a huge fan
Western, they got
and has
their
around 80
freaking
people
lights out.
at her house on Thanksgiving. Brianna lives by this quote. Even when you think your entire world just came crashing down on you, keep your head up, your shoulders back, and keep on climbing until you reach the top. Brianna would like to thank her dad for making her feel like the luckiest girl in the world, her friends, especially her best friend from second grade, Ezra Lumbaugh. Last but not least, Brianna would like to thank her angel in the sky, her mother, who always been her biggest supporter, and always reminds her to live each day to the fullest. Brianna Woods.
Take a drink of water.
You're right. You did a good job.
And now it's time to announce the runners-up and your homecoming queen. For the first time in John Glenn history, we have a tie for first runner-up. First runners-up, Brianna Woods and Delaney Westlock. Both first runners-up. Brianna Woods and Delaney Westlock.
You want to come back with me? Oliver's situation.
You gotta move that box.
30, like 22 days. And now, the 2019 John Glenn Homecoming Queen, Kendra Ludwig.
For alumni and the 50-50 winner. So appreciate
I'm surprised that the punt for it. I was right here punting traffic. You didn't hear a one line. Remember him?
Oh, he was
He never take a fair time.
he and Charlie Sanders back in the day. They were the best in their business.
So where do you want to do that?
Back at the half with our IBEW 692 halftime show. Jeff Doan and Mike Wasdala. The first half did not disappoint.
Did not disappoint, Jeff. It was a really good first half for both squads. Both squads took advantage of some opportunities. Western's up 14-13. Going to be a real exciting second half also.
Two plays made a huge difference for Western in the first half. Both of them were snaps over the top of the punter's head. But you got to give credit. Good teams make good plays when they have that situation, and John Glenn capitalized.
Yeah, John Glenn took advantage of it. Like you said, Jeff, good teams do that, so they got on the scoreboard. They missed the extra point, 7-6. John Glenn scored again, make it 13-7. And then next thing you know, Western Warriors, Frizel takes it 35-40 yards for the touchdown, 14-13 and a half. Just just what we talked about on the way out. We knew it was going to be a great football game.
Up until a couple of years ago, Mike, you never heard the phrase RPO. It has turned into such a huge part of the game today, and both quarterbacks are running it very effectively.
They do it very well, Jeff. They stick it in there, they run it, they pass it, or whatever they want to do with it. Then they do the option. So it's part of the repertoire of the football teams in the modern day game. And both these teams do it very well. Frizel's got some speed, Joe Blong's got some speed, and they can take it in between the tackles also.
It's the decision-making process that makes a difference. Just around the corner, the second half. Can't wait for it to come. $370-some is going to be ours in a minute. Back to the second half in just a moment on Bay County TV.
In the fight against cancer, you are never alone. The Covenant Cancer Care Center pledges to stand by you every step of the way. And standing with us now is MD Anderson Cancer Network, a program of MD Anderson Cancer Center, one of America's leading cancer care providers. This extraordinary affiliation gives families unprecedented access to world-renowned cancer treatment plans close to home. Together, we can fight cancer, hand in hand.
Back ready to roll for the second half. Jeff Todt and Mike Guazdala, glad to have you along. The Western Warriors will kick off to the John Glenn Bobcats. Mike, they won the toss and deferred in the first half.
Yep, good first half so far, Jeff. Going to be another good half here between the Bobcats and the Warriors. Looks like
Ball
number
returned
8
on the play by Malachi Garrett as he gets up over the 34 to the 35-yard line. Be another great starting field position for the John Glenn Bobcats. Just 5 ticks into our third quarter. 14-13, Western over John Glenn. I expect everything we saw in the first half to be duplicated in the second half.
And then some, my friend. I'll tell you, it was an outstanding first half. Truly enjoyable high school football game here on homecoming night. And a big congratulations to the queen tonight for John Glenn. Kendra Lodwick was the
and
John
I believe,
Glenn queen.
Mike, that is the third in the Lodwick family to get this crown. That's a lot of pressure on the youngest sister of the group.
I wonder if there's any more left.
Motion to the wide side of the field. Joe Blong hands off to Christie, who gets back to the line of scrimmage and is pushed back by the Western defense. Norfleet was the first of the defenders in on that play. He's really filled out since last year, Mike.
Yes, he really has, Jeff. He's grown up to be a pretty good-sized young man. Plays tight end and defensive end, the senior for the Warriors. And he's put a few pounds on. Good-looking football players. He's had a good game tonight for the Warriors. I like the way he plays.
Again, the Bobcats staying with that. Twins to the near side and twins to the far side. Christie, the single back. Joe Blong is going to send that thing out. Fredenberg with his hands on it. Gets about 5 out to the 40-yard line before the Western defense gets there. And Norfleet is out there along with Blake Michek. As it'll be unofficially a gain of 6. It'll be 3rd down and 4. Another great confidence-building pass from Joe Blong to a wide receiver.
Eric Randall also out there, Jeff. Eric came a long ways to make an assist on that tackle. 3rd down and 5 for the Bobcats. Just underway here in the third quarter.
Quickly up to the line come the John Glenn Bobcats. Against a 3-man front for Western, showing blitz. Michek backing off. Now Michek's going right up into the middle on a delayed blitz. Joe Blong looked up, and he got Michek.
Yeah, Michek just shot the gap right there, Jeff, and Job had no place to go. They lost a couple yards, so it's going to be 4th down and long for the Bobcats. They're going to have to punt on the way. Warriors will come away with good field position.
Yep, it's going to be 4th and a long 7 situation. As it's always nice to have your quarterback also your punter. It always makes the defense have something else to have to think about. Good exchange is always helpful. Chest high, he's able to do it. Kind of rugby style, just gets it off. And we are going to have that ball rolling down to the 24-yard line. Could have been a flag as
that's close.
There was some close to interference there. And I know that Trail wanted to get that ball, but he did not want to take a chance on not being able to get it cleanly, so he backed off. And it'll be 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line for the Western Warriors.
Again, Jeff, want to thank our sponsors tonight, Covenant Healthcare, International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 692, AAA Transport, Village Towing, Shirts, Mugs, and more, and both booster clubs from John Glenn and Bay City Western.
1st and 10 for the Western Warriors, running trips to the wide side of the field. Frizzell has got Pop in motion to the wide side. He's got a couple blockers out in front, trying to get around the corner. Again, great tackle around the ankles.
Looks like Joe Long on the tackle out there, Jeff. Good open field tackle again by Joe. Gain of 2 on the play. Caught 2nd down and 8 for the Warriors.
Joe Blong, such a good tackler in the open field. Very sure-handed, and whenever you can get the Taylor Pop down on one hit out in space, that's something special. Frizzell up the middle, and early on, Mike, both defenses have made some adjustments on that RPO.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Jeff.
As defensively, it looked like Wisniewski with the tackle. So both teams offensively have not been able to do much. Credit the defenses.
They're kind of a mirror image of each other, Jeff, on their offense.
Man coverage on all 3 to this side of the field. Little tiny wheel route. They go back across the Blake Green, and that looks like C.J. Trail.
Yeah.
They used trips as Rory O'Hare with the tackle on the play, but they used trips as a decoy and ran Trail all by himself on a little skinny.
Frizzell kind of looked a little bit left, just took a peek over this way, Jeff, and found Trail on the backside coming across on what you like to call that skinny post right there, and did a nice job. Big 1st down for the Warriors.
Another different look with trips to the near side of the field here. As Frizzell bangs forward, might have gotten 2 yards. But they are paying a whole lot more attention to the quarterbacks in the 3rd quarter on the RPO than they did in the first half, both teams.
Wisniewski again on the tackle for the Bobcats, Jeff. Gain of 2 on the play for the Warriors. Called 2nd and 8. We call it about the 45.5-yard line. 2nd down for Bay City Western. Wisniewski's had a nice football game tonight for the Bobcats also.
He has done a lot of nice things. Frizzell going to the wide side of the field. He's going to throw that off short, and there will be incomplete pass. There wasn't going to be more than a couple of yard gain on the play anyway, but that would have made a 3rd and 5 with the catch versus a 3rd and 8.
Yeah, on that type of pass, Jeff, you have about 2 or 3 options. You got one guy out there, receiver about 5 to 7, the other one about 10 to 12, maybe another one out there about 15 to 17. So you got some options, and your 4th option, you can also tuck it and run. So unfortunately, incomplete 3rd and long for the Warriors.
Let's see what the Warriors dial up on 3rd down. Let's see what the Bobcat defense has in store for this offensive play call. From the 45-yard line of the Bobcats, 3rd down and 8 for the Western Warriors. A little bit of time to throw the football. Perfectly thrown pass is complete on the play to number 1, C.J. Trail again. It's going to be enough to move the sticks from the 34. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Western Warriors.
Boy, C.J. Trail with a nice catch. Frizzell put it right where he had to, Jeff, right on the money. And Trail with a great catch. Big 1st down for the Warriors inside the 35-yard lines of the Bobcats.
Osdich had perfect defensive position that time. It was just absolutely thrown where it had to be. Pop with breaking through on the inside. Look at, he's carrying people. Makes another miss. He's at the 20, the 15, the 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. He's into the end zone. It's a Western Warrior touchdown.
Late flag on the play, Jeff.
That's going to be a taunting. And that is just plain inexcusable by Taylor Pop. Going to cost his team 6. If that's exactly what they've got here, he's not going to enjoy the film session with Coach Willards. He broke 2 nice tackles, Mike, to get into the open field. Ran to daylight. Just finish it like you've been there.
Yep. I think that's exactly what they're going to call.
So now we're trying to wait to find out.
They're going to give him the touchdown. I think they gave him the touchdown first, Jeff, and they're going to call.
He was prior to the end zone when he started that maneuver, but the referee could only go by the information given to him by the line judge. The referee is only making that call based on the info that he has received. So now he's got to come over and tell Jeremy Warner what he was told. But I think most of the people in the stands realize that that happened outside of the goal line.
You're absolutely right.
They're still going to take 15 yards off of the kick, and they're going to have to kick from the 25-yard line. But I think John Glenn would have rather had that penalty accepted and move that ball back to the 20.
The flag was right there about the 2 or 3 yard line. That's right where the situation happened, Jeff. So now they're going to move them back on the extra point.
So by moving the extra point back, Mike, what they're trying to do now is hope that Malin misses this and they're within a touchdown and an extra point of tying the score.
So Coach Warner took the penalty on the extra point, not on the kickoff, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Hey, I'm 1 for 1.
That's an option that they had, and we'll see now. This ends up being a 35-yard extra point in essence. Malin has enough leg to get it 35. Will it go straight? We'll find out in a moment. Ethan Malin, the extra point is up. It's got length. And it's good. Timeout of the field with 7:13 left in the third. It's 21-13. Western over John Glenn. Back in a moment on Bay County TV.
You're up. There's an old saying, you can never have too many officials. The age of the average official is 52 and getting older all the time. We're constantly recruiting new people, younger people to join us. After you register with the MHSAA, look on the website to find an officials association near you. They'll put you in a position to succeed as an official. We all learned a lot from high school sports, and officiating is a great way to give back to the game. There's help wanted. Just whistle.
Back on Bay County TV, Jeff Dodd and Mike Guasdala. What a turn of events,
wow.
Mike, that we just saw. Taylor Pop, I think, learned something from that event because he had a little chat from the coaching staff when he got to the side, but a great play to get him into the end zone. That ball's going to go down on the ground again, going to be picked up on the 28-yard line. And out to the 33-yard line is Osdick. Osdick gets a nice 6-yard return before he's brought down by the Western Warriors. And the Bobcats will start their offensive drive nearing the midway point of our third quarter. Again, 21-13, Western on top over John Glenn.
Yeah, interesting third quarter already, Jeff. Like you said, 7:09 to go. Plenty of time for the Bobcats to put a drive together. They've done some nice things. Just, again, it's been kind of like an opportunistic game for these teams. They take advantage of each other's faux pas, so to speak, and that's why Western's up 21-13.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what both teams decide to do, and there's already adjustment offensively as you get the linebackers peeking up into the hole to stop the run and pressure the quarterback. It is Fredenberg with a nice grab and a gain on the play of about 17 yards. First and 10 for the Bobcats.
Well, that was a nice catch. That was a little bit low, but Job had to put it right there, Jeff. But Fredenberg went down and got it. Nice job by that young man. Big first down for the Bobcats.
Joe Blong with a 3-step drop again across the middle. It's deflected. Boy, he threw that into traffic, and Michek, along with Xander Gall, very nearly got a finger on it. One of them maybe did.
That was, again, a tight spot to throw that football in, Jeff, for Joe Blong. 2nd down and 10. Ball right at the 50-yard line.
2nd down and 10 yards to go. A double hitch, and they get that out to McKenzie. McKenzie gets back to the line of scrimmage, and look at that. There's 7 Western Warriors out in the neighborhood. And leading tackler on that was Justin Doty as he got out there. and he had a lot of company.
Yeah, that was a lot of hats to the football right there, Jeff, for the Western Warriors. 3rd down, and they're going to call it 10. He might have got a half a yard, maybe one. 3rd down and 9
and
for
see,
the Bobcats.
this formation, Mike, is illegal on the offense because the right tackle's helmet is behind the butt of the center. It probably will not get called, but that's something they need to address, as they've got a little wheel route to the outside. Perfectly thrown by Job Long. And a completion down to the 27-yard line to McKenzie.
Well, I'll tell you what, good offensive line blocking right there, Jeff, giving Job a long time to throw the football. McKenzie getting out there, big 1st down for the Bobcats, all the way down to the Warrior 30-yard line.
As that was absolutely a perfectly thrown deep fade pattern right on the dot. The Bobcats continue on. Rory O'Hare up the middle. As he is brought down defensively by Doty.
The Bobcat passing game's looking pretty good right now, my friend. Job's doing a nice job spreading the ball around. Another 1st down for the Bobcats, 5:44 and counting to go in the 3rd quarter.
Bobcat offense has got some rhythm. Joe Blanc trying to go up the middle, and a pressure from Western knocks him into the backfield for a loss of 4 yards on the play. As, boy, they were all over that.
Yeah.
Whitskill was one of the first defenders through, and he had no time to do anything.
Yeah, Whitskill's had a nice career, Jeff, for the Warriors. We've called his name many times doing Warrior football games. Good-looking player.
3 years on the varsity for that young man, and he has earned it. There's a low snap. Long picks it up. He's going to throw down the middle to Rory O'Hare. Does he have it? He cannot hold on to the ball. How about Joe Blong with his patience and presence of mind back there? Picks up that low snap, stays in the rhythm, looks for O'Hare, and put the ball where it had to be thrown for a chance to catch.
And kept his eyes up, Jeff. It was a low snap, but he went down and got it, kept his eyes up. Got it right there, but good defense by the Warriors. 3rd down and 14 for the Bobcats at the Warrior 21-yard line.
You might see them run a play now where they get 6-8 yards and put it in the 4th and manageable.
Down territory.
Plus, you're in a position at that point where a field goal may assist you. Osnich was good from about 40 in warm-ups. Joe Blanc coming with that pass, and it is incomplete. It was a forward pass. It was intended for Christie. They tried to set up a late screen, and that will bring up 4th down. And this is going to be right at the edge of the range in pregame that we saw from Osnich.
Yeah, we were keeping an eye on him, Jeff, during the pregame, and he was booting it pretty good at this end zone, at this goalpost. So it's going to be about a
38.
Yeah, 38, 39-yarder. It's got enough leg.
Again, right now at this time of the night, though, you're dealing with moisture on the field. That plant foot's got to be good. Let's see what he's able to do. They wait. The kick is up, but it's partially blocked, and it'll roll into the end zone. Western, for the 2nd time this game, gets their hands on a kick.
Good defensive stand right there, Jeff, by the Bay City Western Warriors. Ball's going to be turned over on downs. 1st and 10 for Bay City Western at their own 21.
So the Western Warriors come back onto offense. Their defense made plays when they had to. Now let's see what the offense from Western can do. Let's see what the Bobcat can do to keep Western down there so that they can maintain the field position.
Definitely cannot let the Western Warriors back in the end zone, Jeff.
The fake to me check, the handoff up the middle, and absolutely nowhere to go for Taylor Pop as he was hit originally. It looked like Austin Dienauer with the initial hit.
Austin's done a nice job tonight, Jeff. 4:35 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Bay City Western 21 and John Glenn 13 here on homecoming night at John Glenn.
You know, they tried that to fake the jet sweep again, and that did not fool John Glenn at all. And now in the backfield is the running back Pop, and he gets pushed back. inside the 15-yard line to the 13. Fredenberg was all over that play, and his key must have been popped as he hit him in the backfield for the second play in a row for a loss, and John Glenn is flipping the field here.
Friesel didn't have any place to go either, so good defense by the Bobcats. 3rd down and long for Bay City Western.
And when neither of you have any place to go, you always hand it off to your running back. Friesel trying to throw it down the middle, intended for pop, just off his fingertips. Rory O'Hare back there defensively.
Yeah, Rory did a nice job, Jeff, right there. Kind of hold him back. He knew that Pop was going to catch it. Didn't want to get any pass interference, so he kind of held back and did a nice job right there. 4th down long for the Warriors. They're going to have to punt it away.
Friesel had a nice touch on that ball, too. Yep. Pop just was a half a stride behind being able to make a great catch, but the Bobcats should come away with great field position here with 3:41 left in the 3rd. Fredenberg nearly got his hands on one, and that went up in the air. And unless that takes a huge bounce, that is going to be a great field position start at the 37-yard line for the John Glenn Bobcats. I think if Fredenberg would have laid out, he could have had that ball. He was very close to it.
Yeah, Jeff, that was a good job by him. He probably thought, we're going to get good field position. I don't want to get a rough in the kicker or anything like that. So, but again, Bobcats come away with great field position with 3:31 to go in the 3rd quarter. Basically, Western 21 and the Bobcats 13.
When you're a special teams coach, though, it's all about teaching angles of pursuit to that kicker, where if you lay out, you want to make sure you're just outside that extended foot so that you don't get a rough. Western switching up their defense. Joe Blong is going to send that ball downfield. McKenzie has the catch at the 20. Oh, they're going to say it's incomplete. Now, that is the line judge's call. He was thinking it was a catch. The umpire was able to turn around, Mike, and be certain at that point that ball hit the ground. Because if the umpire's not certain it hit the ground, it's not his call. But he made a good call. He got help from the line judge got help, and it was a great call.
Pop put his referee hat on, too, Jeff. He sold it pretty good, too.
Well, he wanted them to at least take a second look at it up here in the booth, and Natalie played it back and said it was incomplete. Christie gets hit at the line of scrimmage. Looks like Witskill got there in a hurry. As he just shed his block and just filled the hole, Mike.
That young man's a football player, Jeff.
As again, the last drive, John Glenn moved down the field. Now the tendency for both defenses to be stingy. They made some great adjustments at halftime, both teams. Christie floating out to the near side. Joe Blong is going to try and get that thing away. The pass is complete. And again, nice job by Christie because he got half of what they needed. And they'll be able to go for it now on 4th down. As we're down to 2.5 minutes left in our 3rd quarter, 21-13, Western over John Glenn. Glad you could be along for tonight. This is a huge 4th and 5 situation for the Bobcats. Western comes with some pressure. Joe Blong trying to step up in the pressure. Little jump over the top and great backhand defense that time. Looked like by number 22, Eric Randall. Used that off arm to come around and slap that ball away. Very, very good technique defense.
It's like kind of the denying the pass on the defense when you're playing defensive basketball, Jeff, right there. Didn't put his hand on the backside, got that other hand out in front. Good job by the Bay City Western Warriors with 2:09 to go in the 3rd quarter.
And again, after both offenses really being able to flow freely in the first half, yardage has been hard to come by for both offenses here in the 3rd.
Yeah, good adjustment by both squads.
Western back onto the offense. 4-3 setup defensively for the Bobcats. As they're going to bring somebody out late and move them to the wide side of the field. Still not in a situation where they've got 10 seconds, so they got plenty of time on that new 40-second clock. Pass to the outside, and again, Very nicely done that time by Pop.
Got
As
a
we got a
flag
penalty
on-
flag down, and they're going to call that an illegal substitution. All right, what they've got is a false start, and what it is 5 men in the backfield, and that's why that was called. The last person that came in, lined up in the backfield, gave them 5. So now you got to decide, are you going to accept that penalty?
I think Coach Warner's going to move him back 5, Jeff. I thought I saw him point and go back 5. But no, he's going to. Yeah, he did take that.
1st and 15 for the Western Warriors. As Frizzell hands it to Pop. Pop bangs forward. He got the 5 back from the penalty. It'll be 2nd down and 10 yards to go. Fredenberg gets up out of that stack along with number 57, Brooks. Aaron Brooks, so good defense again. 2nd down and 10 for the Western Warriors. This is another huge series for both teams, Mike, as John Glenn still wants to keep the field flipped, and Western wants to at least get a couple of first downs to change that field position.
Man, and poof, the third quarter is gone, Jeff. $1:20 to go.
Frizzell going to the near side of the field, throws that back across the grain behind the intended receiver. And that looked like Norfleet.
Yeah, it did look like Norfleet, Jeff.
And it'll be 3rd down and 10 yards to go. Boy, John Glenn had that sniffed out really well and very well defended.
Again, he was trying to just throw a little back across his body. Norfleet behind him, but stops the clock with $1:18 to go.
Those could be dangerous plays again. Back over the middle late is the recipe for disaster most times. So you have to be very certain that you've got something there so that somebody crossing defensively doesn't get a pick 6. Motion here to the near side of the field. Creating twins. Tight end down the seam was open. Frizzell's going to send that back across the grain, in and out of the hands of the intended receiver. That was number 16, and Tristan Brickell wants to have that one back.
Oh, boy, I tell you, it was right where he wanted it too, Jeff. He kind of sat right down there. Frizzell did a nice job looking back. Again, throwing across his body right there, but he got it to the open man. But
what happened on that play, Mike, is he knew when he left his feet that he had somebody like Rory O'Hare in the neighborhood. I think he heard the pitter-patter of footsteps.
Nothing worse than hearing the pitter-patter.
Oh, indeed. There's a good exchange. There's another short kick from the Western Warriors. That's going to hit at midfield and die at the 46. Looks like one of your 9-irons there onto the golf course, Mike. Nice little spin on the ball at the 46-yard line. 1st and 10 for the John Glenn Bobcats, as the Western kicking game has not been on top of its game thus far tonight.
Yep, that was a short kick. Bobcats going to come away with good field position, Jeff, at their own 46-yard line. 1 minute and 1 second to go in the third quarter. You know, Jeff, the last couple minutes of this third quarter has taken quite a long time. It was flying by, so plenty of time for the Bobcats.
Incomplete passes will do that. Just probably a couple of plays left here in the third quarter. As the Bobcats with a little different look here. They have got split backs in the backfield. That's a look that they had not seen, so the Western Warriors are going to take a timeout. We'll take a break in as well. 21 for the Western Warriors, 13 for the John Glenn Bobcats. Back in a moment on Bay County TV.
So your car is getting towed and you're not sure where to take it? Try Village Towing and Auto Repair. Our expert mechanics are here to help assist you with all your repair needs. We have over 30 years of experience with motor vehicles, so you know you're getting the best work that you can find. Stop by the shop at 2377 South Huron Road in Coquitlam, or give us a call at 989-684-9607.
Back on Bay County TV. This is a big drive here with 1:01 left in the third. Bobcats come with a slight variation out of that formation from the last time. Joe Blong wants a little more protection. That pass is on the outside, in and out of the hands of Rory O'Hare. I think they made a great adjustment there. They brought an extra back into the backfield to give Joe Blong time to throw the football.
A little more protection right there for Job to throw the football. Nice pass. Rory did a nice job trying to go after it, but it was incomplete pass. 56.2 ticks to go, Jeff. But you know what? You're right. They brought in that extra back, gave him some extra time, and really was one-on-one out there. So he also had a couple extra like tight ends and extra linemen in there too.
Job threw another pretty
Nice
ball. Rory
pass.
wishes he had that back, because I think 9 times out of 10 he's going to bring that one in. Joe Blong again. He's pushing his feet down. Passes a little bit to the outside, and great job by the defender out there as Fredenberg tried to reel that in. Looking at the defenders. And again, I'm trying to see if that's a 1 or a 3 out there. Is that Trail?
Yeah, Trail's number 1. Number 3 for Western, Jeff, is Brendan Bunnell.
They're really not doing us any favors tonight with those late numbers. I think it looks like Mayo and Ogama Heights away uniforms from the old WKJC days.
You know, when you look at them right now, they look like the Ramblin' Wreck from Georgia Tech, those uniforms.
Wow. You're pulling out the stops, Coach.
Old style.
As we have got formation now, where I hope that this is a run play, because the slot receiver going downfield is covered, and there should have been a flag on that play, and the flag does come out now. It is caught, and that's what you're going to have. The slot receiver needed to be off the line of scrimmage. He was on, which means he's covered. He cannot go downfield to catch the pass. So that takes away an eligible downfield, and that's what that's going to be, is the slot receiver on the wide side. As again, the headline's been on that play, Mike. Waited sufficiently long, but he knew what he had. He wanted to make certain that receiver went 5 yards or more downfield, and he threw the flag, and that was appropriate. And that's a tough break, because that was a positive gain for the Bobcats.
Going to be under 40 seconds to go here in the third quarter, Jeff.
And again, you take away the gain on the play, and with the penalty, it's now 3rd down and almost 15 yards to go.
Yep.
So it's a huge change in field position right now. Christie out of the backfield. It'll be an empty set. With trips, Joe Blong is going to take off upfield, makes a couple of people miss. Sure-handed tackle at the 47-yard line by the Western Warriors. And that will be the end of our third quarter of play, with only 12 minutes left in regulation. At the end of our third quarter of play, the Western Warriors 21, the John Glenn Bobcats 13. Back in a moment on Bay County TV.
At Covenant Healthcare, we see this every day. As the region's leader, Covenant has the best emergency and trauma team for adults and children. Because on an ordinary day, you just may need the extraordinary.
Back on Bay County TV, Jeff Doan and Mike Guasdala along with you. Natalie Doan is filming, producing, and directing tonight, as she's got the trifecta of goodies. Joe Blong on a 4th and long will handle the punting duties. Ball gets up in the air, and boy, this is going to take a huge bounce for John Glenn. Nice job by C.J. Trail.
That young man's got some gumption.
He just got that up.
He really does. He's not afraid to catch it in the crowd. He did a nice job right there. If he would have let that go, that would have been another 10 yards.
40-33 right now. Heritage over Central.
Wow.
Central's making a furious comeback
They
at
certainly
Heritage
are.
tonight. 9 minutes left in that game, so still plenty of time for Bay City Central to come away with potentially their second win of the year after spotting a huge first half deficit, 34-7 at the half.
Yeah,
Second half
yeah.
had to have been all Central. Frizzell has Michek in motion. This is normally a handoff formation. As they come up, Pop is caught in the back, and the tackle on the play is made by number 67, Cameron Eager. Now, people are going to say, he had his hand inside of his. Yes, he did. But if you're not pulled backwards or sideways in a whiplash motion, that is not a horse collar. So that is a good no call by the officials. Big gain of 9 on the play. And every time Michek has come in motion, Gwiz, and gone into that wing position, it's been a running play. So we'll have to see if John Glenn can make that adjustment. Frizzell gets rid of it, and there's Pop on the screen. He's just going to bang forward. He gets up over the 35 to about the 38-yard line. They are really using that screen effectively as that is Wisniewski in on the tackle for the Bobcats.
Yeah, Wisniewski did a nice job on that open field tackle, Jeff, but really a nice call right there and in that situation on that screen pass. And again, Pop is tough to bring down when he's in the open field, falling forward, getting the first down for the basically Western Warriors.
Frizzell gets rid of it. Another completed pass.
Boccigalupo is the receiver, Jeff.
Carter, the old quarterback, Boccigalupo gets, I believe, his first catch of the night. But how nice is it to have another quarterback out at the wide receiver? It really opens up your playbook offensively.
Yeah, you just never know what that young man's going to do. You got a lot of experience last year. He was a starting quarterback for many of the games for the Warriors last year, Jeff. Good gain on the play call at 6, second down and 4.
As they move Michek in motion again, this is a run formation. And it's Frizzell, cuts to the outside, breaks away from one tackler. He's going to get out of bounds as he's got the first down and more over midfield down to the 47-yard line of the John Glenn Bobcats. It's imperative for the Bobcats, Gwiz, that they keep the Western Warriors out of the end zone.
Definitely, Jeff, right at the 50-yard line. Just looking at Frizzell, he's only a junior, Jeff, so he's got another year left for Bay City Western. He's having an impressive showing tonight for Bay City Western.
Again, as this set is there, Frizzell throws that thing to Michek. Michek bangs forward for a gain of about 12 on the play.
Down.
Rory O'Hare has to come up from his safety position to make the tackle.
Yeah, he got the first down. Kind of just sat right down there in that open space, Jeff. Frizzell put it right on the money. And good yards after the catch.
Now, you remember when that happened earlier, Mike? Michek continued on that little skinny post. He settled into a spot and stopped and received the ball, so great communication between quarterback and receiver. 1st and 10. As Frizzell moves forward, he picks up positive yardage down to about the 29-yard line as he's finally brought down
number
by
73.
Mason Facundo.
Yeah, France also in on the tackle for the Bobcats, Jeff. 9:25 and going and counting here in the fourth quarter. Western 21, Bobcats 13.
Boy, and I'll tell you, Nick Barton has got some great play call going on here as Pop is hit. I think it's Dienauer in the hole.
32.
Down behind the line by number 32 of the Bobcats, Wisniewski.
Yeah, Kevin Wisniewski again.
Wow. He stood Pop right straight up in the air, and that's not an easy thing to do.
Absolutely not. That was a nice tackle. Again, Kevin's had an outstanding football game tonight for John Glenn.
This is a big third down.
It sure is.
Third down and a long 4. The Bobcats coming with pressure. Pass is complete to Norfleet. As Norfleet just looked that ball in, Mike, he knew he was going to get hit. He knew he had the first down yardage, but he just cradled it in, took the hit, and moved the sticks.
I think that's going to be a first down for Bay City Western. Nice job by Norfleet. Good job by Frizzell putting it right where he had to, Jeff. For Norfleet, Norfleet knew where that first down marker was. He went right to it, got the first down.
And the Bobcats came with pressure, so Frizzell went with his first option, and it proved enough to move the sticks. They're going to go jet sweep this time. Yep, they give that ball to Michek. He bangs forward, and he's down just shy of the 20-yard line. As, again, they've been showing that, and they've been waiting for the right time, Mike, to use it. There's a gain of 7 yards on that play with 8 minutes left. Western is really moving the ball, but they're chewing up a chunk of the clock.
Nick Barton's done a nice job tonight with his play calling for the offensive coordinator for Bay City Western, Jeff. He's mixed it up, had some nice mixing with run, read, pass options, some passes, some runs. Done a nice job tonight.
Frizzell again, 5 yards deep out of the shotgun. Movement by the Bobcat line. Here's another screen. Pop to the outside, cuts back to the inside, down, sniffing the goal line with an extra effort. He steps out of bounds at the 1-yard line. What an absolutely athletic move by the big fella.
Well, I didn't think he stepped out of bounds, Jeff, but the referee was right there. It's going to be first and goal to go for the Warriors right at the 1-yard line. 21-13, 7:26 to go in the ball game.
You know, Mike, every time the Bobcats come with pressure, it's either a first option pass or a screen, and the chess match, at least on this drive, is taken over. Frizzell's going to bang forward. He can't get forward. He slides to the outside. He's into the end zone. It's a Western Warrior touchdown. Boy, the defense absolutely had the inside stuffed up. So he does a little pirouette to the outside and goes into the end zone for a Western Warrior score.
Big score for Bay City Western, Jeff, making it 27-13, 7:22 to go in the ball game.
Still a lot of time for the John Glenn Bobcats. This extra point is very big as well because this will force John Glenn, if they can score twice, to have to go for 2 on their second touchdown. Ethan Malin. He gets it up in the air. It's plenty long. And it's good. Time out of the field with 7:22 left in the regulation. Western 28, John Glenn 13. Back in a moment on Bay County TV.
Hi, my name is Grace and I love music, but I've also struggled with depression. I wouldn't be here doing what I love if it wasn't for OK to Say.
Hi, I'm Alex. I'm a 2-year starter on the varsity football team, and with all the pressure building up, I've had thoughts of suicide, and I might not be here today without OK to Say.
Hi, my name is Haley and I just got into med school. If I hadn't got the help that I needed, I wouldn't have been able to pursue my dream of becoming a doctor. OK to Say saved me.
OK to Say saved me.
OK to Say saved me. Don't hesitate to speak up.
Back on Bay County TV, Jeff Doan and Mike Wisdala along with you, and John Glenn has not necessarily have to go hurry up, but they've got to make things happen to score twice here in the last 7:22.
Long way to go in a short time to get there, Jeff, but not insurmountable for the Bobcats.
The two guys on the sideline, Rory O'Hare and Joe Blanc, sitting next to each other. They're trying to plot those strategies as that pigskin hits the ground. Picked up as Osdich as he gets pushed backwards, and he'll go maybe to the 27-yard line. He tried to pick that up, Mike, and the ball might have been a little slick because it was tough to pick up. You're not too familiar with that kick that goes low and on the ground, Mike, are you, from your decades at All Saints?
You got to remember who I played for, Ray Dombrowski and Jeff Beisel. We never kicked the thing more than 15 yards. It was always an onside kick for – that's what they wanted to do, and that's what, you know.
Well, you figure at least once or twice a game that crazy-shaped ball is going to take a weird bounce.
I couldn't kick it very far, but I could kick it 15 yards, that's for sure.
Yeah, you guys had 12 kickers on your team.
I couldn't throw it 15 yards, but I could kick it 15 yards.
First and 10 for the John Glenn Bobcats. It's time for Joe Blanc to pull a little magic out of his bag here as he needs to lead this
We've seen him do
Bobcat
it before.
team. Oh, yes. Very capable indeed. There is the adjustment by Western as they get that third defender over onto the quad side of the field. So Joe Blanc says, I'm going to send that out to Christie. Christie picks up positive yardage, bangs forward, and gets 9 yards on the play. As there's a lot of bodies banging over there, but using the quads as you'll have 3 blockers in front of you, Mike. Nice call on first down.
You know, Jeff, before I forget, I want to thank Superintendent Matt Schmidt for his hospitality tonight and for letting me actually sit in his chair all night long.
You said that thing is cushy.
You
said that chair is plush.
He's got the catbird seat right here. Thank you, Matt.
Second down, 1 yard to go. Joe Blong again out of the shotgun. Clock rolling. There's another pass to the outside to Christie on this side of the field. He picks up the first down and is going to get out of bounds as he gets out to the 42-yard line.
How about that block by number 11, Austin McKenzie out here, Jeff? Really a nice job keeping his man busy. Took him right out of bounds. First down for the Bobcats.
They ruled that his forward momentum was stopped in bounds, so the clock is running right now with 6:21 and counting left in the ball game. The Bobcats need to hit pay dirt twice. Joe Blong's got his offense on a good start towards that. Down the middle of the field, a perfectly thrown ball.
That's a first down.
Very close to the first down marker, and in fact, I think they're going to give it to him. When this happens, what you want to do as an official, if that's on your side of the field, Mike, I'm calling for the football because I know where the spot that I have the ball at, and you, as an umpire, you throw him the ball and you put it down. They are going to pull a measurement out of this, and by the stripe of the football, Mike, he's got the first down.
Yeah, it does look like it from up here too, Jeff. One more time before I forget, I want to thank all of our sponsors tonight: Covenant Healthcare, International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 692, AAA Transport, Village Towing, and the official apparel provider, shirts, mugs, and more, and both Western and John Glenn Booster Club. Thank you so much, folks. We couldn't do it without you. What, by the stripe of the football, right?
Not by the stripe of the football. I'm 7 for 7 tonight, Coach. This has never happened
I tell
ever.
you what, this is scary. You've been right 7 out of 7 times.
That's just the high society that we're up here and being a part of tonight in the John Glenn Bobcat
Don't forget
booth.
the golden iPad tablets down at the end, too. Lee Thompson's in the house.
This is nothing but big stuff here. 1st and 10 for the John Glenn Bobcats. Motion by Fredenberg. Long with time to throw the football down the middle. He's got Fredenberg for another first down as he's brought down defensively. Looks like number 22, Eric Randall. Another 1st and 10 for the Bobcats.
Good.
Still plenty of time, Gwiz.
Yeah, good protection by the Bobcat offensive line, giving Joe plenty of time to throw the football. Good routes, good catch. First down stops the clock, Jeff.
Let's see if Western dials up some extra pressure here as they've only got a 3-man front. Joe Blong cuts away from a couple of defenders, stays on his feet, and he'll be brought down at the 18-yard line. It'll be enough to move the sticks again. Another 1st and 10 for the Bobcats. So the Bobcats are really spreading the Western defense out, and Joe Blong is just making good decisions.
Yep. Nice job by Joe getting into the open area, Jeff. Clock is still running. We're at 5:25 and counting to go in the football game. Basically, Western 28 and the Bobcats 13, but they're knocking on the door.
Here comes pressure up the middle. The pressure is picked up. Fredenberg cuts to the outside, makes one miss. He's into the end zone. It's a John Glenn Bobcat touchdown. Fredenberg, boy, does he do a nice little dipsy-do. Catches it to the inside, turns the shoulder to the outside, and untouched into the end zone for a Bobcat touchdown.
Boy, nice job by the Bobcats, Jeff. Good mix of plays. They had some short passes, some long passes. Joe Blong with a nice big run right there, and a huge touchdown with 5:10 to go in the football game, making the score 28-19, Bay City Western.
Osditch has got to get on the field. Nope, they're looking for a lineman. And see, on the try for extra point, you only have 25. You don't have 40.
Plenty of time.
This is a huge extra point right now to keep it a one-possession game. The kick is up. It's plenty long. And it is good. Timeout on the field with 5 and 10 left in our ball game. It's 28-20 Western over John Glenn. Oh, hold on to your seat cushions. This one's going right down to the wire. Back in a moment on Bay County TV.
Over the years, he's put his heart into being your dad. He was always there to fix things. Now that he needs help, don't lose hope. Covenant Center for the Heart is leading the way in minimally invasive heart options for inoperable or high-risk patients, with the first and most comprehensive structural heart disease program in the Great Lakes Bay region. It's extraordinary heart care, close to home.
Back on Bay County TV, Mike, we said the first half was great. We expected lots of the same. In the second half, we have not been disappointed.
Outstanding, Jeff. Both teams, both coaching staffs doing a great job tonight here in the football game. 28-20. We got a lot of football to play with 5 minutes and 10 seconds to go.
And we're going to have to find out here. Western is preparing for onside kick. I'm not certain that the Bobcats need to worry about that at this point, but I'm not the coach. I'm not going to try and go 8 for 7 and 7 for 8 as they're going to kick that ball deep. And that ball is going to go out of bounds. And they are going to give that ball up at the 35-yard line. I believe that that's where Coach Willards is going to want that offense to take possession.
I would think so, Jeff. Defense for John Glenn's coming out. They'll take it at the 35-yard line. White Hat looks over at Coach Willards and says, where do you want it? And he'll say, I'll take it at the 35. Good field position for the Bay City Western Warriors. Coming into the game tonight, Jeff, 1-4. Bobcats 2-3. A lot on the line for both these squads tonight.
First and 10 at the 35. As Frizzell has got trips to the near side. I think Pop is going to get his hands on the ball at least 2 out of these 3 plays. Again, they changed the play at the line of scrimmage. Frizzell gets rid of that ball, and it is whistled in and out of the hands of Michek. And, boy, he had a lot of real estate if he was able to catch that ball.
Just a
break
behind
for the Bobcats because the clock stops.
Good, the skosh behind him, Jeff. Snap was a little bit low. Frizzell picked it up and got it off, but it's just a little bit behind. But you're exactly right. That only took 3 seconds off the clock at 5 minutes and 7 to go. Second down and 10 for the Bay City Western Warriors right at their own 35-yard line.
Western again showing trips to that wide side. Michek now in motion to the near side. Run formation. As Frizzell comes forward for a gain of about 4 yards on the play out to the 39-yard line. As Pop really did a nice job of carrying out his fake. But I think the Bobcats are catching on to that formation.
Fredenberg and Jacobs in on the tackle for the Bobcats, Jeff. We're under 5 minutes to go here in the ball game. We got us a dilly. Granny, don't leave your rocker right now.
His is going to go right down to the wire. Has a big 3rd down and 6 yard to go situation for both the Western offense and the defense. Pass to Norfleet on the inside. He's caught at the 49-yard line, dropped instantly by Nathan. But Nathan Jacobs, but it'll be enough for a 1st and 10 for the Western Warriors.
Boy, Frizzell did a nice job, Jeff. Just took his time, just waited for the receiver to clear and put it right on the money. Big 1st down for Bay City Western at their own 49-yard line.
That was a great high-pressure, composed throw by Frizzell.
And give some love to the big fellas up front. Gave him plenty of time to throw the football.
Again, with that trip look to this near side, I think Pop's going to take this off of the left tackle as he's going to try and get to the outside. But again, they're waiting on the clock. They're using great clock management. Trying to take it to the left side. I think the Bobcats knew exactly what they tried to do. And number 73 defensively, Carter France, was there in a hurry. Loss of a yard on the play, 2nd down and 11.
And don't forget, Jeff, John Glenn still has all 3 timeouts left.
And it's tough to figure out exactly when you want or need to use them, as Western is going to continue with that trip look this time. They've got Micek, Trail, and Bacigalupo all here to the near side of the field. And again, Frizzell doing a great job. He's going to wait for the 10 seconds to come up from the back judge. It's just coming up. He'll get into his offensive set. Frizzell going to keep it himself, cuts to the outside. His job is to make sure he stays in bounds, and he falls down in bounds. He picked up about 5 yards on that play, though, Mike.
Yeah, he did.
It takes a long time for that play to get completed.
Nice job by Frizzell staying in bounds. You have to keep that clock running. Coach Warner just took a look over at the clock. I think he's going to call timeout here pretty quick.
Well, depending on the outcome of this play, he will use his first unless Western gets a first down. Western again with that trip look. They've had some success with Micek on the little skinny post. We'll see if that's what they're going to look at again on a big 3rd down and 6 yard to go situation. Again, waiting for that 10 seconds. Back judge with his hands in the air. Micek in motion to the wide side of the field. Frizzell keeps it. He bangs forward. He's got the first down and more. He's down to the 30, the 25, the 20, the 15, down to the 12-yard line before he's brought down. No yellow hankies on the field. What a huge change in field position that run was.
That was a nice call by the Bay City Western Warriors. Jeff Frizzell did a nice job reading what he had to do. Took it away from Micek and kept it himself, and a big first down for Bay City Western all the way down to the 12-yard line of the Bobcats.
As the clock now starts to run, the Bobcats are going to be forced to take their first time out. We'll take a break and be back in a minute. It's 28-20. Western over John Glenn. Back for the last 2:15 in just a moment on Bay County TV.
Our smiles can light up a room. Our work can light up an entire city. We're the men and women of the IBEW, working with a code of excellence that guarantees the job will be done right, on time, and safely. We're lighting the path to the future. Let us show you just how bright that path is.
Back here on Bay County TV, this is going to be a wild one right down to the end. The John Glenn Bobcat defense has got to come up with a stop or a turnover. Western probably going to do a little Chuck Noll right now, a little ground chuck on the offense. As Pop just puts his head down and bangs it forward. And the second timeout will be taken by the John Glenn Bobcats. We are going to keep it right here, Mike. What I believe the Nick Barton is trying to do from Western is he wants all 3 timeouts to be used. He is also trying to position that ball in the middle of the uprights because a field goal makes it a 2-possession game.
Well, and I was just about to say, Jeff, don't forget, Western's got a pretty good field goal kicker. We know he can boot it pretty well, and you're absolutely right. He's making John Glenn use up those timeouts. They've got 1 left, if I'm not mistaken. Get the ball in the middle of the field or where the kicker wants it, kick that field goal, make it a 2-possession game.
It is something, though, that when you get to that position, if the field goal is what you choose for, you have got to count on your front 7 to make certain that the defense does not get great penetration to try and block that kick.
Well, and also you got to remember, you got to have the long snapper put it right in the holder and the kicker, and there's a lot of components to that field goal, Jeff. So, and you're working on it every day. You put them in some pressure situations in practice, and hopefully it'll pay off in the game.
Here we go. 2nd down and 8. Little different look because they got an extra receiver in there. Great job again by number 73, Carter France. Shuts him down. That'll be the 3rd timeout. We'll take a break and be back in a moment on Bay County TV.
Fall Friday night, and your kids should be
playing high school football. It's a fun game, and it's safer than ever.
It's safe because the rules, the coaching, and the equipment are better than ever before.
As a result, serious injuries are at an all-time low. Seriously.
And builds
strong schools, lifetime memories, and tomorrow's community leaders.
And it's mother approved.
It's a great game, and we want to teach it to your kids.
Back back here on Bay County TV. Oh, the chess match is going on even here in the press box. Frizzell with a single back. And they're going to pass that ball down the middle into the end zone, cradling the ball in. Cannot see. Was that Norfleet with the touchdown grab? It is number 40, and absolutely outthunks us all.
Great call.
They're putting 11 in the box to stop the run. Frizzell with a nice soft touch, and Norfleet with a big catch.
Everybody up in the booth up here, Jeff thought run, and that's why we're sitting up in the booth, and they're down on the field coaching. That was an excellent call.
Nick Barton
by
comes
Nick
up
Barton,
with the big one.
offensive coordinator for Bay City Western.
Try for the extra point. Ethan Malin. CJ Trail says we're set for that ball. He puts it down. The kick is up, and it just gets inside the upright and is good. Time onto the field with 2:03 left in the ball game. 35-20 Western over the Bobcats of John Glenn. Back in a moment for the final 2:03 on BCTV.
You treat your family with extraordinary care every day, which is why when it comes to their health, more of you choose Covenant Healthcare. We specialize in extraordinary care. From diagnosis to recovery. From babies to grandparents. Learn more about our extraordinary bariatrics program. Sign up for our free seminar.
Back for the final 2:03 on Bay County TV. Jeff Doan and Mike Wisdala along with you. Natalie Doan doing a phenomenal job tonight on the single camera action as we are here at the John Glenn Bobcat Homecoming. And Western is trying to do what they can to take some of the festivity away from homecoming, as looks like the ball is returned on the play by Caleb Christie.
It's got a late flag on the play,
Yellow
Jeff.
hanky at the end of that play. And normally you've got hold. It's a little block in the back against the John Glenn Bobcats. And you notice, Mike, how the official takes that flag and he throws it a second time. He wants it to be at the spot of the infraction so they can move the 10 yards back.
You know, Jeff, going back to that touchdown by Bay City Western, we all thought was a great call. You know, and if it would have been an incomplete pass, if they wouldn't have scored, they would have had good field position for the field goal. So it's one of those plays where, you know, you talk about it, you say we pull it off, even great. If we don't, we got good position for the field goal. But Western, what a great call and a great play by the Bay City Western Warriors.
Now this is extremely perplexing. If they've got a block in the back and the official moved his flag to the spot he thought it was, that ended up being like a 17 or 18 yard penalty. Can't explain that one to you. We got a little flea flicker pass going on here. Nope, going to be running that ball, and that looks like Sawinski.
And the Bobcats are out of timeouts, Jeff, and we got 1:40 and counting to go here in the football game. Bay City Western 35 and John Glenn 20.
Swinsicki, excuse me, apologize for not getting that name correct. First time we've had an opportunity to call him tonight. Joe Blanc coming to the near side of the field. Great pass, got to get out of bounds. Beautifully done. Should be enough to move the sticks. It'll be 1st and 10 for the John Glenn Bobcats as that pass was complete to number 87, Maxon Smith. $1:20 left in the game. Again, as Mike just said, no timeouts left for the John Glenn Bobcats. They've got to hit pay dirt in a hurry and then hope they can get an onside kick. As the offense moved just a touch. That's all that it took. Great job by the defensive tackle that time, Mike, as he twitched and he forced the offensive lineman to twitch. But the key is the defender does not get into the neutral zone. Mm-hmm. And that is the difference. If the defender moves first, gets into the neutral zone, and the offensive player then moves, that's a defensive penalty. He didn't get to the neutral zone, therefore the offensive player moving got the 5.
Moves him back 5 yards, Jeff, to about the 32-yard line.
And that's precious real estate.
It certainly is.
Smith in motion to the wide side of the field, creating trips. Joe Blong with some time to throw the football, sends that downfield. Ooh. And C.J. Trail had no intention of going after that football. He wanted to make sure that pass went no farther to Rory O'Hare than the completion. When he saw it sail through, he just backed off.
And that was a smart play by Trail, Jeff. Like you said, backing off, not doing anything unnecessary to hurt the Western Warriors with $1:17 to go here in the football game. And the Warriors up 15. 2nd and
15. Christie in motion. They're going to come back to the near side with Rory O'Hare. Rory does a nice job. He gets to the outside, and he is going to pick up some real estate out to the 44-yard line. He does a nice job, gets what he can, gets out of bounds. It'll be 3rd down on the play and about 3 yards to go for the first down.
Nice job by number 34, Ryan Green, running O'Hare out of bounds for the Warriors. Jeff Ryan's had a good football game tonight for Bay City Western. $1:10 to go in the ball game.
As they look onto the wristband, which a lot of schools are going to right now, they shout a number, and everybody's on sequence with what the play call is. Joe Blong's going to run the football. He's got to get that first down to keep the clock stopped, and he gets the first down and more. So they're going to get back to the line of scrimmage. Look at the Bobcats, Mike, how quickly they get back into position offensively. That is a good job of coaching.
Pop in on the tackle for the Western Warriors.
As Rory O'Hare picks that thing up in a gain of about 7.
That thing
as C.J. Trail with a nice tackle, but Rory O'Hare went way upstairs to get that ball.
No, Trail's had a good game tonight for Bay City Western, Jeff.
And he's been on Rory O'Hare most of the night. Joe Blong back. He's got to get rid of that ball, floating it down the middle, and the pass is nearly picked off. Defensively, though, another great play by Xander Gall as he just gets that off arm in the road and gets that ball knocked away.
Boy, that was awfully close. You're absolutely right, Jeff. Good defense.
Clock stopped, though, with 40.8 ticks left in the ball game. A big 3rd down situation. They got a nice screen set up. Christie's going to bang forward, and he's going to get out of bounds at the 32-yard line. That's going to be enough to move the sticks again. And again, they're using the sidelines to their advantage to move the sticks and stop the clock. Boy, time is very precious right now. 34.9 ticks left. Joe Blong's got to hope he can hit pay dirt here very soon. He's rolling to the wide side, trying to show patience. He's got to just throw this one away. As the John Glenn Bobcats, offensive players downfield, they really got a little stagnant on that play, Mike. You've got to try and run to daylight. And Joe Blong chewed up a lot of clock. There's only 27 seconds left in the game.
Ran out of real estate going to the far side of the field, Jeff. Nobody open. Smart play. Throw it away. Live for another down. Going to be 2nd down and 10 for the Bobcats.
Joe Blong said only if we were playing in Canada I would have had that extra yardage on the sidelines. Job's going back to that wide side of the field. They set the screen up to Christie on the near side of the field. Christie cuts to the inside, and that is a great job of getting back to the outside and out of bounds, because if he gets tackled in bounds, they might have only got one more play off.
Yep.
So his speed and his fleetness of foot gets him to the out of bounds. And it will be 3rd down now in about 5 yards to go for the first down with, again, 19 ticks left in the game.
Again, Xander Gall in on the tackle, getting the receiver for John Glenn out of bounds. Jeff, that young man's played a really good football game tonight for Bay City Western.
Christie on the outside. They're going to make a shot downfield into double coverage, and the ball looks like it gets picked off. Oh, they said he was out of bounds. I think instant replay is going to disagree with that call.
I thought he was in bounds too, Jeff, but the referee said no, he was out. 12.8 ticks to go in the ball game.
You know, the only thing on that, though, is did he have possession?
Yep.
He may have been bobbling it a little bit, and we didn't have a great angle on that. To me, it looked like he got his feet down, but we couldn't tell possession of the ball. And it isn't like Calvin Johnson. You don't have to have it through the completion of the catch like you do.
Well, you got to go back there, don't you?
And it is Joe Blong. He's going to throw another one downfield with another opportunity. This one's picked off. and they're going to say it is picked off, and it'll go Western. Now, what you got to watch for that is that ball's picked off. Rory did a nice job of getting his hands on it. Dual possession will always go to the offense. So Western is going to do something that they have not had an opportunity to do a lot lately, and that's get into that victory formation. And that will be a sweet last play for the Western Warriors.
Big win, Jeff, against a rival, Bay City Western, coming away with a 35-20 win here at homecoming night for John Glenn. Boy, they played well.
As they're going to run this last play, they take a knee. And with 5 seconds, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. That's all there is.
There isn't any more.
The final score in our ball game: Bay City Western 35, the Bangor John Glenn Bobcats 20. Back in a moment to put the wraps on this great Bay County battle in just a moment on Bay County TV. Back with a post-game show here on Bay County TV. Jeff Doan and Mike Wasdala. This game had a great hype to it, and it did not disappoint.
It did not let us down, Jeff. I thought both teams played really well. They had both good schemes, good game plans, defense, offense, special teams all played a key role in tonight's game. And take your hats off to Bay City Western coming away with that 35-20 win over the Bobcats.
Thoroughly enjoyed the third quarter of this game because both teams made a concerted effort at halftime to neutralize the other team's offense, and the defense has played outstanding in the third quarter.
Really good adjustments, Jeff, on the option play for both teams. They kind of did a nice job stopping each other. So truly it was the third quarter that was kind of even, but in that big run by Friesel in the fourth quarter really changed the complexion of the game and put Western over to the top to win this game.
Boy, again, when you look at this game, it was just big play after big play. I would say offensively, between the two teams, we probably looked at well over 600 yards of total offense.
Yeah, it was a fun game to watch. Both kids played hard. There was good hard hitting, hard tackling going on. There was a few penalties, but there wasn't a lot of those big penalties. It was just, 5 yards here, 10 yards there. But I thought it was a very well-played game. Western goes to 2-4. Bobcats are 2-4. So, it was a fun game to watch, a big crowd on homecoming, and I think the Western game plan was really, really good tonight.
Now, leading up to tonight's game, there was a lot of concern about all the water that was on the field from the big rain. We have dealt with more water this year for varsity football than I can ever remember.
It's been a crazy year weather-wise, Jeff. We've been involved in 2 delays, 1 delay and one postponement where they played it the next day. But, take your hats off to the ground crew here at the John Glenn Field. They did a fantastic job. They were on it 24/7 there for about 24 hours for about 2 days, and they got this field in good shape. And it really did not have an effect on the game. It was in good shape. Kids did a nice job running out. It was a really well-fought, hard football game.
When you look at Coach Willert's, last year gets 1 victory. This year with 3 games to go with 2 victories, you see steps being taken right now that show the direction that this program is headed.
You see when you go back to last year, you look at that team, they were just kind of feeling their way around with the new coach and stuff. But this year, I'll tell you what, they're very comfortable in what they're doing. And I think Coach Willert's has done a nice job, and the coaching staff has done a nice job getting these kids prepared and putting them in a good position to be successful.
Well, they are. They're going to enjoy a hard-fought victory. Again, the John Glenn Bobcats a little disappointed that they couldn't come away with a homecoming victory, but they played hard. They played a good, solid football game. Yeah. Some nights you just need to take your hat off to the opponent.
Yeah, and you know what, Jeff? Bobcats, they did. They played very well. They did some really nice things tonight. That game plan by Bay City Western with the read option and all the things that they were doing. Pop had a nice game. Friesel had a nice game. Then you go to Job Long and O'Hare. They had some nice games. Dienauer had a nice game on defense. So, we saw some really good football players on both teams tonight. Unfortunately, in a game like this, somebody's got to lose it, and it was the Bobcats. But both teams played extremely hard tonight.
Well, Coach, it was a pleasure to sit by your side again tonight. And
it was
again,
fun.
We got what we expected tonight, and that was a good, clean, hard-hitting game. The officials let them play ball for the most part, and the Western Warriors came away with a very hard-fought 35-20 victory.
Yeah, it was fun to watch, Jeff. A typical Saginaw Valley League game. The kids going at each other, knocking heads, and it's always fun to watch a good, clean, hard-hitting, well-coached football game.
On behalf of the whole crew, I'm Jeff Doan, along with Mike Guizdala, the trifecta of goodness tonight. Natalie Doan, she gets the camera work, the production,
we're gonna
the
give
direction.
her an A+.
And she's going to drive the bus home, so we're all set. Have a great night, and we'll see you next week from Garber.
See you from Garber.